Have I told you guys how nice it is that I don't need to do any adjustments to my like stream? To like just I don't have to change anyone's tokens, the art of the stream. It's so easy. It's convenient. I appreciate you guys.
Do people change art often?
Well,
we be changing? Yeah.
No. So in my other games, there's like multiple players. So all of you guys are in only one of my games, so I don't need to like be changing your tokens or your names and stuff. It's great. I enjoy it. And that's why this is the only game you'll ever be allowed to play in of mine. Ever.
Banned from all the other ones.
Yeah. So, just a fair warning. Can you guys go ahead and draw me some hero cards while we're at it?
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. Discard, and then put 2 in. Rock of Courage. Trigger when a player gets the fright condition. Considering where we are. What's going on?
Chauvin with the spark of courage? Wow.
Can I play this now?
Hey, look, it's Katai got Rage and Fury and Surge of Speed. Very mad, go fast.
I'm ready for combat.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's see.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. With hero cards drawn and hero points giveth, which I assume you guys have refilled your hero points, we will start our game. I appreciate you all taking yet another break from your Power Worlds, or as I found out, a Civilization game, to hop in and give us a go. Now, you guys,
take a break from me.
You what?
I said Power World's taking a break from me.
Really? Is that right?
Yeah.
Didn't they drop? They dropped the servers for a bit there, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
He's taking a break.
Oh, he needs it after a week's
They're on a
training.
break.
Yeah.
They're on a break right now.
Yeah, I heard an ex Nintendo sent Power World a message, so they're taking a break. I get it. Conflict in the relationship. We're gonna pop into it though, and who would like to be the one to guide us into it, to bring us back into what happened last week? And I mean, it was kind of eventful last week. You had a lot of conversations with some people that you needed to have conversations with. You began to shop, and you also came face to face with something that's going to be a massive problem. I'm gonna let anybody roll d20. Whoever rolls the highest can take it. You're rolling secret. I'll reveal that for you, even if you didn't mean for it to be revealed, Katai.
I beat him.
Other people were trying.
I beat him.
You beat him this time.
Trying this time.
All right.
Changing the narrative.
Katai, yeah, I mean, technically, Katai, you could say whatever you want.
That is just really the whole entire reason.
You're gonna shove Ross out of the way as he's trying to give a recount and give your own of what actually happened. Disgraceful outsider.
Here, you don't have to beat my diplomacy roll.
That's right.
I can rewrite history instead.
It's fair. That's right. Well, history is told by the victor, so go ahead, Katai. Take it away.
So we started at a little meeting at the town square by the theater. It was kind of old Matsuki called a little meeting for everyone to kind of discuss what was going on or what steps we want to take to move forward in the aftermath of this tragedy. Excuse me. It boiled down to taking sides. After old Matsuki kind of said his piece, which was a lot of, we should focus on rebuilding the farms. We want to make sure our people are well fed for the winter time. We want to make sure that we're still able to survive as a community and we can remain close-knit because we need each other to survive in the end. Then Granny Who came onto the scene and she decided to sow fear and paranoia throughout all of Willowshore, as she expressed that we needed to up the town guard and protect ourselves from the outside world and the outside spirits or whatever that would come to mess with us. And she was very feeding on the people's fears that this tragedy could happen again, instead of focusing on rebuilding in time for the winter. There was some discussion from a few party members. In the end, everyone stayed neutral except for Kitai and Ross. Kitai ended up siding with Old Matsuki, and Ross ended up siding with Granny Hu. There was a discussion, and Ross, with his unfortunate charisma, was able to win over a majority of Willowshore. Hurt feelings all around. But Old Matsuki and Granny Hu decided that it would be best that we should notify a nearby settlement, as well as to start trade again to make sure we're getting all of the proper supplies in. Can't remember the name of the settlement, unfortunately. I think it started with a K.
Karahai.
Karahai?
Karahai, but Karahai.
Karahai. Yeah. And they expressed that we should go to Karahai, which is nearby in the east. Oh, is that the right direction? Somewhere on the right side of the map. And we all agree that we should go there. And we headed out to get some horses from the stables and made our way on the road again. There was a brief interaction with an ox and making sure the ox was okay. And, gotta make sure our farm animals are kept healthy and all that kind of fun stuff. So we made our way to Karahai. We didn't get very far. I think we got like 4 hours or something out of the city before running into some problems regarding the mist, or the fog. We walked into it and we turned ourselves around. And we tried again, and it just dropped us out where we came in. We were unable to get to this mist, which is very strange. There was some discussion about what we should do, if we should go back to town, if we should hunker down. I think we had decided in the end we should stay where we are and camp for the night, and then try again in the morning, maybe when the mist is gone. And as we were settling down after coming to that decision, something came out of the mist, which is a really gross, mossy slime-looking thing. I think it was screaming. I can't remember if that was a description or not. But it looks awful, and it looks like it wants to hurt us.
To Drum. I mean, why wouldn't it? It's adorable. All right. Yeah, because you guys are standing there trying to decide what you should do, and this thing, the size of a horse, decided to drag itself out.
Yeah.
Started making its way over to you. All right. Thank you for the recap, Kitai. I appreciate it. You can take your free hero point. I'm going to ask you guys one last quick question, and that is it.
Hero point now?
You get a free hero point if you do the recap.
Yeah, it was always.
I thought it was a
point.
D6.
Oh,
I've always gotten D6s.
That was the question, wasn't it?
I was going to say the question
No,
at
the
the end.
question was D4s.
So okay.
Oh.
Before I had it be
remember
a D6, would you prefer a hero point or a D6?
Always.
Always a D6.
A D6.
No, always a hero point.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh no!
Always a hero point.
Every plus one matters. So
You may
imagine
have-
a plus
Yeah,
six.
but a hero point can save your life.
Yeah, but
Kitai,
That's on
One
you to
hero
say
point.
your own.
Kitai,
and a
Oh,
D6 gives you a
You-
free crit.
you may
What?
choose a hero
I can
point
choose.
or a D6.
Wait, is this setting the precedent for the rest of the campaign?
Yes, it
or
is.
just-
Well, no.
Fuck, I don't want the
Sorry.
responsibility.
Every time, whoever recaps can choose.
Okay. I'll pick the I'll pick the hero point.
Ooh, all right. And lastly, now that you guys have been confronted by this strange fog that descended on you all and then immediately left afterwards, and while the one thing I will correct is that this slime, strange being that has begun to pull itself out, made entirely from mold, as it begins to tear itself towards you all, came from the forest to your side, not from the actual fog.
Not from the
It-
fog.
It seems to have been drawn to you all due to your argument, or it was nearby within the forest itself. What is one thing Now that you have come to the realization that you're not able to make it to Karahai, and everything that's happened on the night, and the conversation in the center of town, and your conversations with Ashihina Shinzo, what's one thing that your character has changed their mind about in the last few days?
I totally forgot to recap about Shinzo.
Totally fine.
He's a cool dude.
Oh man, Jobin,
Okay, I
Jobin,
won't roll.
Jobin, it's
I
been
won't bother.
3 days since the festival, since you were woken up in that strange field on the opposite side of Willowshore from whenever you were fallen asleep. Tell me, what's one thing that Jobin's changed his mind about?
He has changed his mind about getting involved, I think. Mainly this happened during the talk between Granny Hu and Old Man Mitsuki during the like meeting that we had. Like he has pretty much grown up being like, I don't want to get involved in politics, but right now, he feels like his town is in jeopardy, and politics it might be causing issues, and so he wants people to get along, and so he's getting involved to try and make sure that happens. That was the spark that caused him to actually speak up during that moment.
Perfect. I love making politics change people's hearts. Who would have thought? Go ahead and take your D4 and tell me, who would you like to ask that question of in the campaign so far? PC or NPC?
Let me see. What has Fang? I mean, who else was Ross? The other one roll? You, Fang, you were going to roll too, right?
I mean, I didn't roll, so I see Ross's dice there, so I'm gonna ask Ross.
All right, I'll ask Ross. Ross.
Do you prefer Ras or Ross? I say Ross because it reminds me of a character I used to have.
Ross.
Ross, yeah, okay. Tell me, Ross, what's the your character's changed your mind about?
That the town cannot stay as it was. How we were left us vulnerable, and that needs to change. Just because of how we were is how this started. So we should not go back to how we were.
Interesting. We'll see how that affects you and your party's choices coming soon here. Now then, let's take it away.
You changed your mind about trying to have a relationship with your sister?
That hasn't changed, no.
That's a constant.
Yeah, it's a
Well, it
constant.
seemed at first he thought maybe there's a chance, but now it's seeming there's no chance.
I think that's still up in the air.
For you, maybe.
God damn.
Let's jump into it. Man, it's so peaceful. Definitely nightfall not coming. That's 2 river. Never mind, one sec. All right. And so, as you all stand on the bend heading towards Karahai, the strange fog that has descended multiple times to prevent you from traveling together and traveling past this bend to see Karahai and the Sea of Ghosts to the east. You feel the wind in your hair, the slapping of the river to your side, just the edge of Gourd Lake that you have just passed not too long ago. You've traveled for most of the day to get here, and you meant if you had a few more hours, you would make it to Karahai before the sun had set. But now, the sun is threatening to disappear within 2 hours. And in that way, so will the night will fall. Now then, you have 2 horses that were able to be spared. I believe it was 2.
I thought
think we had-
It was 3.
Yeah, I think we
It
had
was
3.
3. It was
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
I apologize. I thought I was being generous. I forgot about that. You have 3 horses that have been spared. One of them was not spared. Ah, that was it. Yes, there was one of them not spared because it was having to bear some issues on its back. But as you all stand there, your horse's nervous trotting, ticking, and neighing, something began to crawl its way out from the forestry. A sickly amount of mass made from bodies, from mold, from tree, and fungus as it begins to crawl towards you all. It is the size of a malformed horse, desperately sticking a new set of some kind of strange pattern of slime and dragging itself desperately towards you all. It is using every single one of its turns to move as fast as it can towards you, which means it only moves 30 feet. And thus, as it begins to make its way towards you, do you decide to stay here? Do you try to make your way into the forest? Or do you brave this strange fog again? Or do you flee entirely? You guys have 2 rounds before the mass will be within combat reach of you. So tell me, what do you guys do?
Are we on the horses still?
I believe most of you were.
We should just leave, guys.
You have the reins.
Cian takes his horse, and I believe Ross is on it.
Correct.
And we bolt, and we start moving back towards the town.
Excellent. As you leave your ally, and thus the horse kips up for a moment before continuing to kick dirt behind. The other 2 horses are standing there. One of them shouts in surprise. Fang, you hear that? You see tendrils coming from this being as it sticks into the mud and begins to pull itself forward with no muscle or shape.
I mean, if Cian's leaving, Fang and Beetle will leave as well.
Yeah. So will Katai and Jobin,
Awesome.
who are on the last horse.
Yeah.
Excellent. It desperately continues to move. The mass even getting so close as to threaten your nostrils as the rot that begins to fill all of you guys' senses is disgusting. And as you hear the mass bubbling away at anything that comes close to it, luckily enough for you, horses are far faster than this thing could ever be. And in one but round, you are gone. Continuing on the trail, and with the horses, you could make it home just after nightfall, but only if you brave the treacherous trail. And so I ask, as you guys rush away from the thing to turn the bend to move back to Gourd Lake's northern edges, what do you do as you continue to flee?
So it's either follow the river and take the long way, or take the shortcut to the woods, to the trail.
Or camp for the night in the forest or trail?
Do I think the horses could handle the trail?
The treacherous trail?
Correct.
They would be able to move, but they would be moving quite slowly.
Cian will recommend the long way around.
Is that the same trail that leads up to Green Mist Pike or Peak? Or is this a different trail?
No, this is a different trail. In your note document, Ross, you actually have the only map that would work for this situation. If you... Oh, I just... Oh, no, never mind. That's a different one. Hold on. Look at the general jet. Do you all see it?
Yeah, last week. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So
If...
we're
Continue.
so if I think right, we're So on the right hand side where it has like that weird bump out, that's the lake that we were by, right? So you're saying that trail that like cuts through the top of that little triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the trail?
Yes, it would be double the speed, if not more, even with the horses not being able to go at full speed. But it is known as the treacherous trail for a reason.
Last time we figured that was because of it's known for dangerous plants.
Yes, Fang, you have identified. Do you remember what it was, Fang?
I don't remember exactly what it was.
Um,
Mushroom.
You know that trail has been infested
Oh no, wait, no, I do
by
remember. It's the plants, the eating plants, the man-eating plants. That was right?
the snapping fly trap.
Yeah, we call them man-eaters. Yeah, the snapping fly traps. But I'm guessing they're really big if they're treacherous to humans, right?
Yes, you would know their size. They are bigger than that mold, not by too much. You would say would be able to easily be able to eat a person. A horse, it would likely need multiple ones of its mouths because they do have many mouths.
Yeah, Fang will just kind of describe it nonchalantly.
I can send you a picture of it so you can describe it, Fang, if you want.
Oh, sure.
Perfect. One sec.
If you take the long way around, we'll just be traveling at night, right?
Yes, you'd be traveling during nighttime.
The only reason to go all the way back to town is if we wanted to take the northern trail. Otherwise, we're treading through ground all over again.
We can't go any further because of the mist.
Okay, Fang will kind of describe it as like viney with like teeth and like multiple heads, kind of like the old Hydra myths, but like a plant. Very big.
Or a hydra?
Well, like you know the stories of Hydras. You read books.
Yeah.
Should we do a recall knowledge check on this thing?
I think I did. I think that's why I know what I know.
Okay.
I guess I didn't try to determine it. Can I do a recall knowledge to determine its stats or key attributes?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely. You can
Pathfinder
always
things?
try. And while we're here, we might as well make exploration activities as you guys are traveling on horseback. You haven't decided if you're going to stop. You still have 2 hours of daylight. You would make it almost back home by the end of the daylight if you took the path.
So keep in mind that when you do exploration activities, you travel at half speed.
Oh, I see. Well, we'll keep that in mind. All right, Fang. You don't know much about the thing because it's something that you wouldn't even really want to deal with. Like, maybe even some people had asked you a few times if you could take care of the snapping fly trap to make the trail less dangerous. Unfortunately, it's not a thing that you could take on alone. And the hunters have avoided it entirely, and it's kind of been lost, this trail, since then. You don't know... Let's see.
If it's a plant, is it possibly weak to fire? We burn it?
I would give you the free, the very easy applicable lore here, from your time, Fang, being around, is that you feel as though fire would affect it for sure. But I will give you nothing more than that.
Yeah, fire could work. Yeah.
Do you want to fight a man-eating plant at night?
I don't
Just
want
go
to
around.
run it. I don't think
Just go
we
around.
should run it.
Let's just go around.
I mean,
the long way.
why don't we just camp here?
Yeah, we just huckle
Well,
down. We
that
stay
thing will just
quiet.
as we sleeping. That thing would just walk. It was chasing us. I mean, it's very slow, but it was chasing us.
Yes.
What's stopping it from getting to us while we're sleeping?
Well, you think
Probably
it's
drawn
still
to the
chasing
north.
us?
I bet I could take it.
Look, if we can't go any further because of the mist, weird mist stuff that's going on, what's the point of staying here? We should just go back to town and let them know. Right?
Well, I mean, Mist doesn't stay around forever.
We don't see any.
gotta move on.
Remember, we're not seeing the mist when we're walking. We walk. There's nothing in front of us. All of a sudden, we're surrounded by mist, and then we're turned around.
Yeah, this is definitely magic mist. So
So it's not like we can tell when the mist goes away, because we never see it before until we're in it. So I vote we go back to town.
It will
But why
be.
not?
It will be a little bit darker than usual, but it will not be dark if you take the trail. Just a
If
devil's
it's too dark,
advocate.
I can light up 4 things with my light to keep us a little at least some brightness. But you know, it's only shines so far. So if it gets a little too dark, we can't see too far ahead of us. But if I remember correctly, Katai, you can see really far, right?
yes. I mean, I think Fang can also see through fog and such, so
Yeah, that's what, like, I'm pretty good at seeing through, like, natural weather, but not that kind of stuff. I mean,
I think we should camp here.
I think we should camp.
Yes, it's
We're
camp
gonna
here.
have to figure out how to get past this fog anyway.
Well, why do we need to figure it out here when we can figure it out in town?
How are we gonna figure it out in town if the fog's here?
Was
still
heading
think it's
back would just
ghost.
cause a panic.
I don't want to
Yes.
destroy town morale quite yet.
Wait, yeah.
Is there something you
I-
know that we don't?
Well, if we can't get out, then we go back to town and we tell everyone we can't get out, and then they
Panic.
get upset. And
Yep.
there may be a way out. We just have to think about it first, and we can't think if we're running away in panic. So camping in the trail is a good idea.
So you see, Jobin, everyone wants to camp but you. It'll be okay. Me
Okay.
and Cian, we do this all the time.
We will be able to protect you.
I mean, what happened last time you slept outside?
The mist came. There was
Kidnapped
we got attacked by giant centipedes that wanted to eat our flesh. The
Yeah,
town
but you
was
woke
attacked,
up,
and
right? Everything was fine.
I don't think everything was fine.
I don't
I
know
did
if
wake up,
everything was fine.
but I don't think everything was fine.
Well, I mean, in the forest, the issues were in the town. And you want to go back to the town,
Yeah, where there's the light of the lantern, and
you get your priorities set.
and guards, and tea.
We can make tea here.
Yeah, okay.
Fang, Yin, and I will protect you, Jobin. Do not worry.
Okay.
All
I wish I
right.
had a tent.
You can put like a blanket over you if you want.
No, it's okay.
You have a pocket tent?
Sadly, no.
Do you want to sleep under Beetle?
Ruben pushes up his glasses and says, no, thank you. It's okay. It's okay. I have a bedroll. So, it's okay. Oof.
We should probably set up watches, right?
Yes, we don't want that
I do
sneaking up on us.
have an alarm snare.
What does that do in this system?
You create an alarm snare by rigging up.
Stay like that.
Rigging. Here, I'll post it. Create alarm snare by rigging up one and more noisy objects, tripwires, pressure plates. When you create
Oh,
the
it's
alarm
not
snare,
a spell.
It's
No,
the
it's not a
bell.
spell.
No, it's not a
Yes, it's a
spell.
bell.
That was
It's a
It's
bell.
just some bells on a string.
Yeah.
That was a
Designated
spell.
range between 100 and 500 feet, at which it can be heard.
Interesting. Okay. This could be useful. I think we should set that up. Do you have to have snare crafting to do this? Or is this
No, it's
just
not.
something you can do?
It's already been made. It's the
Oh,
item.
Oh, awesome.
Making
Okay,
it, you
cool.
need snare crafting.
Alrighty. Go ahead, Jobin. Set that up. Sounds good.
Where should I set it up? I mean, you guys are the wilderness experts.
Well, that thing came from the forest. How about the forest side? We'll, I guess set up more closer towards,
Say it. Say the river.
Are we near the river?
You are.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're
river's
at
on
like
one side, forest on the other. I mean, we
Right.
set up right here on the road.
yeah, right now we're at that crossroads, right, between going north around the lake, going south down to the
Here.
triangle, and going west to
I-
through the treacherous trail, right?
I would-
Completely different map, Bobbin.
Oh, I'm the wrong. I'm just confused. Just
Go to the
Yeah,
go to
in
the
the
general in
Discord
Discord, and then scroll up a
General
little
Discord.
in the
Yeah, from-
season
Oh,
ghost.
I see.
Yeah,
Oh, I need the mouse wheel.
I'm going to say that you guys running along the ways away from the bend, you're probably at the most, before you'd stop away from this being, either you'd be at the treacherous trails crossroads, which you can see the signs that say do not enter dangerous plants, or you'd be just in the very tip top of the bend around Gourd Lake.
Hmm. I feel like we should maybe hang out by Gourd Lake, by that bend. I feel like if we go down the treacherous trail, it says warning plant monsters, and I feel like, we should probably listen to those signs.
I mean, we should definitely camp on the road,
Yeah.
away from the water and away from the forest.
Hopefully there's no bandits around walking
Yeah.
down the road.
I don't need to be a wilderness expert to know that.
Put the snare towards the forest. That's where that
Okay.
moss creature came from.
Here, I'll hand it to Cian because he seems to know about setting traps and stuff like that as a hunter.
I don't know. Fang's pretty good at setting traps, aren't you, Fang?
Ooh.
I think I'm retired
Ooh, he's
after what
retired.
happened with the last traps.
All right, Zian will look for a good spot to put it.
Are you going to stay on the trail so that you have sight lines around you, but also are a bit more exposed? The horses also need, I'm just curious if you want to be in the forest, on the bank, or do you want to be on the trail?
I see the trail. It's less fortified, but we're more likely to see something coming,
Yeah,
even though we ourselves are also more exposed to sight lines.
I'm okay if stuff sees us. I just don't want to make sure we can see it too, so we can run if we need to.
We'll keep watches as well as your bells, so we'll be aware if something tries to approach us. We want to all pull straws for what shifts we take, or does it not really matter?
I'll go first.
I'll take the second then.
All right.
I'll be after Kataya if needed.
I think we as adventurers need, I think, like 8 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's 8 sleep, 1 daily preparation.
Okay, well, we'll be up for the last hour then. So, 8 hours.
Are you sure you guys all don't want to go to sleep at the same time? You'd save time that way.
No, and dying in sleep. No.
I
Trust
don't
everything
think
on this
so.
one
I don't think
alarms.
so.
No, thank you. Get attacked by like killer squirrels or something.
Does Beetle sleep?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So you are not near the treacherous trail bend. You are simply on the trail away from Gourd Lake, right? Or on the side of Gourd Lake.
Yes.
Yeah, if you look at the triangle, we're heading down towards the southwest.
Sounds good to me. Very well. Setting off, finding something reasonable to rest at is simple enough. Nobody really does this. Let me be clear. No one really goes out and sleeps in any area near the Spectre Wood to rest, other than very bold people or people that are wilderness survivalists. Secondarily, it's on horseback. You can make it to Karahai by the end of a day. So there's really no need to have trail spots, camping equipment on the way. So there's not many good locations, the good locales to do so. But for slower traveling animals and carts, there are a couple of stop-off points in this trail by the lake. Maybe even places that people will put down camps so they can go fishing for a while at Gourd Lake. Most people do fish on the north side, as the south side is rumored to be the home of Kappa. And it's easier to just not deal with Kappa than it is to actually have to deal with their problems. Thus, you're able to find a spot on the trail with a couple of dugouts. Where do you place the horses, and what do you do about lighting? Are you lighting a fire?
We should probably have the horses, like, if we're gonna, like, set this up, we should probably have, like, a circle where we're sleeping and have the horses, like, inside that circle. That make the most sense to protect them from being snatched.
We need
Yeah,
light.
but it makes the worst sense for protecting us from getting snatched.
How about
I mean, you know.
go ahead and give me your best. Based off of your description, this will be what I assume to be your environment.
I'll be in the middle with the horses.
These are the dugouts I was speaking of, here and here.
And if you need light, I can provide light. It lasts until we wake up.
I need light.
I'm going to lower the lighting so you guys can work on that. And, Fang, I assume you're the one who is doing, survivalist things here. So if you want to put the horses somewhere, show me what you're doing here. What's your ritual?
Well, this is a very important question. Which of these horses, are they all, like, pretty kind, well up-to-do animals, or are, like, some of them kind of, shitty?
One of them's
like,
complaining,
really,
but it's the one that had Katai.
That's kind of fair.
There's the one that went along with your plan that was so tired, so tired, and only took you.
The one that literally did have a ride.
Yeah.
He's gonna put that one in the middle, and then he's gonna put the complainer right here.
This is the one that had Katai. Okay, I'm gonna make it
if
red.
this guy's just kind of all right, he'll be right here.
This one had it's just fine.
Oh, can I get Beetle?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Pivotal member. There you go.
Don't forget him. Jeez.
I will note that your horses are not this badass. This is just a visual representation of your horses. They are not more armored than you all.
Thing just kind of plans to have us all, like, in the road. Well, does he expect rain?
You don't. There is an overcast, but it isn't raining. If this weather keeps up, you actually might have a good summer.
Okay, then yeah, we'll do it like this.
Okay. I'm gonna hit you guys with the full night cycle light. Are you guys comfortable with this being your lighting situation?
Open. Put the remaining 3 lights on the horses' saddles.
Ross got one. You have one. I could put 2 on the rest of the horses.
Can't Roth see in the dark though?
Not well.
It's better to see in color than in black and white against
Yeah.
a very heavy vegetation surrounding.
Fair.
All right, so we want to put it on orange horse or blue horse, or red horse.
Blue and red.
All right, feel free to. I don't know if I can edit it. If you, or I'll see if I can do it.
I can drag him
I
on.
can't do it on them.
I can drag it
Yeah.
on.
So blue and red.
There you go.
Right.
That means the only one who doesn't have a light on it, and thus will have easier time sleeping, is the one that didn't have a rider either, the orange one. Perfect. Having a great day, to be honest. It'll begin to great.
What's his name?
Oh, he doesn't have a name.
We can name them. Give them
Yeah,
names. We can get attached to them, so when Crypt eventually kills them, we can be sad.
It's the only three
Well,
horses in town that haven't escaped, so it's the last ones.
Well, Fang only really got to know this one, so you guys will notice Fang is calling him Tinwa.
Pinwa. All right.
That's the orange one?
Yep.
I'm gonna name this blue one Buttercup.
Oh, your horse is over there, Katai.
Oh, okay. This
Wow,
one,
the fact you didn't know it. I even put it red
This
for
one.
you.
this one is Buttercup.
That's messed up.
They all look the same.
It's even more messed up.
More mess.
Yeah, I know. That's
Traditions.
Quit while you're ahead.
Okay, I'll put the shovel down.
All right.
yeah. We named the last one Marsh.
Marsh. You got it.
In Wall Buttercup and Marsh.
All right. You put down an alarm bell, it sounds like, an alarm snare. In what area? Right there?
So north is
Can
the.
I
is
do
the,
like a survival check to
North?
figure out where
North
most
is this
vulnerable
way.
come from?
I mean, you
That's
know,
where the.
you would know that the mold came out onto the trail before you guys had left. It had come from the northern side of the northern side of the trail. I have kept the map. North is up. You're welcome.
Whoa.
And this way is towards the
The
water,
river.
right?
Yeah, we can hear it from here.
Ross, I would suggest moving because I'm probably going to put it right there.
Okay.
Is that that picture you posted in general chat? Is that our sleeping arrangements? Or is this?
It was a possible scenario
I-
for sleeping
I-
arrangements, but
I accept it. I'll go over here.
I mean we don't have to do that if you don't want to.
Oh, sounds good with me. No preference.
You guys are going to argue all night. I'm not going to stay here.
I'll
just-
put you on the other side. You know.
Well, they're gonna argue all night. That's all they've been doing.
We have a horse between us.
Yeah.
It was intentional.
Yeah, I got this rock. That's our rock.
Don't touch my rock, stupid. Rock.
See that your rock. Jobin's got the dirt in the middle.
Guys, you don't want to sleep on rocks. Your back's gonna kill you when you wake up.
It's just comfy.
There, I'm kind of like leaning up against it then.
Go ahead and use the snare.
Sounds good. And you placing it up there?
Yeah, where that X is.
Mm-hmm. Is it only in that spot?
One square.
Yeah, one square.
All right.
1 square. My goodness.
That's 3 gold for 1 square.
3 gold.
Man, I can't wait till we're rich and we can just have like a whole circle of these things.
Yeah, until you realize the DC doesn't scale and they never make noise again.
I don't think there is a DC. I think they just make
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah, it doesn't
Oh,
say anything
really?
about a DC.
It's
Yeah.
automatic?
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
automatic?
Remy.
Wow.
Automatic, yeah. Yeah, unless we
Yo.
get attacked by a tiny creature. Or
Yeah, it's
something
a-
larger than a large.
This
Yeah.
is not Python design.
Well, the only thing it does is lets you be able to hear it. So then you have to make it just lets you make the perception check.
Yeah, then you have to take the 10 rounds to put on your armor and...
I see.
Okay, so I'm right here. Horses can be right there, and I guess this is how we're kind of having the setup.
If I hear anything, I will blow on my whistle. The person that follows me on watch, I will hand the whistle off to. And then hopefully we don't need to use it all night.
Sounds good.
Before I go to sleep, Jobin's gonna put his hand up in the air, and there's gonna be like a little, tear, yeah, like a little swirl, and then a book is gonna fall out, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my charge of pocket library to see if I can think of whatever that moss creature was.
Make me recall knowledge.
Turn on. Okay, pocket library is turned on, and then recall knowledge.
Okay. You take your time before sleeping, reading from your pocket library. A relatively rare creature, but not impossible in these areas. They're so rare, in fact, that you feel as though if there is one around, there's likely another, but there can't be more than 3 in the whole region of these guys. Unless there is some strange circumstance. Jobin, you get the feeling that the presence of this slime mold indicates that there is some sort of malfeasance in nature somewhere close by. The presence of a slime mold, it's something that happens only when a mound of earth and detritus that are covered in a thick layer of fungus are given some sort of strange symbiotic relationship with the slime mold. They serve as an external digestive system while gaining access to the nutrients it needs. Usually, they lie perfectly still and allow living prey to pass by within reach, then lash out as they're too slow, normally, to catch any prey they would go after. Are you wishing to know anything in particular of these beings?
I guess I'll ask. Well, we saw that they were really slow. I guess what did they put like? Anybody got any suggestions?
Elemental weakness.
All right, if they have any weaknesses.
No.
Okay.
Will you allow me to give you something else that would be noted, or do you wish to request your last piece of knowledge?
Oh, I'll take it if there's something you think I would get from reading about it. Yeah, sure.
Yes. Jobin, in your pocket library, the notations of a slime mold is left with an addendum. It is an extremely unfortunate case of someone from the local region being attacked by one of these, escaping, being noted as fine, But the rest of it is a doctor's report about how they broke down and died after one contact with it. It would appear that the doctor has noted down that with a touch, a slime mold can infect its prey with a foul contagion known as slime rot. It's a horrific disease that has melded the fungus that has grown inside the symbiotic entity. The disease latches in on contact with skin, burrows into one's nervous system and muscles, forms its own parasitic relationship, painfully breaks down the victim's flesh, and at first, it manifested as painful rashes, agonized joints, something normal a pseudopodic entity would do to you. But in the later stages, 4 days later, the flesh of the affected creature began to liquefy, run in rivulets as the spores continued to work inside of the creature's body, and death eventually occurred. It swiftly caused the resulting body to split open and release a new slime mold that had used the body to manufacture another entity.
Awesome. Jobin's gonna say, I'm really glad we ran away from that thing. If we see that thing, don't touch it. And then he'll say, but it does the slime rot thing, and he'll explain it. Maybe not as much detail, but
The doctor is not spare on details.
It fix you with like a slime rot that kind of slowly kills you and then makes a new one.
Gross.
Well, not necessarily slowly. It's kind of fast.
Gross.
Let's keep our distance from it.
The book explodes into confetti and then it disappears, and I lose my pocket library for the ability for the day.
I'll note that the doctor noted that the person showed no symptoms for 4 days, but was dead on day 8.
Very fast. All right.
All right. With that loving bedtime story, you all head off to bed? Who's the first on watch?
Ian.
See and give me a perception check. See and roll me a D100. See and what's your lucky number?
Question. 72.
Sounds good.
Mine's 3 away from that number.
The night passes on. Darkness does fall. You know that it is not particularly too dangerous to be in these hinterlands, but this is not normal times, Ian. The rest of your party has nodded off, not with bedrolls, but instead laying in either grass or their armor, whatever equipment and jerkin they have left with them, after eating a quiet meal, listening to Jobin's recounting of the interaction with the slime mold not too far away from here. You've done many nights in the hinterlands. You've heard many things from the animals. But knowing what's out there, what could be out there, new foes, new creatures, it worries you. But then something lucky happens, Ian. No, not your alarm traps going off because it accidentally ran into it. No, you're not left alone for the night. But you're in fact encountered by a creature you know very well. A creature you can understand. and a creature that has a mind. Its beady eyes blink in the distance, clambering a tree as its bark is broken. It lets out a few chuffs as it begins to pound its way forward. It's as big as the horses, as black as night. A bear. A black bear, one that's clinging between the trees, using its scent to sniff, clearly alerted by the horses, and making its way towards you all in the light. What do you do?
He would probably quickly try to get either a piece of the fire that we might have, or light a torch very quickly, and try to intercept it between the group and it.
Okay. It is coming from the northernmost forest. It is over here. You would have time to grab... Well, you don't have a fire, do you? You have a piece of light. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, you're right. Ooh, how long does it take to light a torch?
You would hear it let out a
Three
chuff as
actions.
it begins to approach you.
He
Breaking
blows on
its
his
way.
whistle.
Okay. You would hear it as it stops. It brings up its paws and breaks into some bark on a tree and climbs up it, shimmying up as fast as it can, up into a tree branch, looking down towards you. The horses all let out neighs of surprise as they're suddenly awoken, those of them that aren't, and I assume the rest of the party also awakens. And you hear the bear let out a groan from up above in a tree.
Bang, it's a bear.
Fang will kind of like wake up. He will call Beetle to his side. And he'll
Beetle
go
and
up to
skid
the
over.
bear. Hello, Mr. Bear.
Loud
I'm kinda, like,
noise.
grunting back at it. You said loud noise?
Oh, loud noise.
From where?
It uses its snout to point.
Your light.
Oh. Well, we need the light. I'm sorry about that. We don't mean you any trouble. You hungry or you just trying
Going
to find somewhere to
fishing.
sleep? Oh,
Sawhorses, easier meat.
I'd appreciate if you chose different horses or tried your chance at fish. The people here will defend the horses.
Give me a diplomacy check. Beetle will come up beside you and will, stand defiant. I will leer down at you.
Okay. Got any berries? Nuts?
Do I have any berries or nuts? I mean, I'm sure Fang would have grabbed berries and nuts while we were traveling.
Any food?
You got any
Can I give
rations?
him? Yeah, I'll toss him a ration.
Okay. It jumps out of the tree and poof, hits the ground. And it will begin to make its way through a ration, snapping at the meat of it, and pawing the rest of it open and begins to eat.
Do you normally live in these woods here, or you grazing?
Yes. Up on the mountain.
How are you feeling a few days ago?
It sniffs the air.
When?
Fang, only the most advanced of animals understand the concept of days.
Ah. Hmm. I'll just kind of ask him, have things been normal around here, or
Oh, yep.
That's good to hear. Have you noticed any weird fog?
Nope.
Have you tried to go east at all? And he'll point east. Okay.
I stay up high. Good for something. Got me any more food?
No, that's all I can spare, but there's lots of fish in the river.
For your friends, I can smell them. Any food on them?
You can ask them.
Brrr, brrr.
The bear begins to yell at your party. You all can understand it.
Is he gonna attack us or drop my katana? What is he gonna attack?
No, he's not gonna attack you.
Bing, 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 bing,
Are
bing,
you
bing.
sure?
An alarm snare goes off. The horses begin to back off. The bear jumps into a tree.
Brrr.
He wants more food.
Okay.
Zian hands Fang 2 rations.
Fang will throw 2 more rations at the bear. Now that's all you're getting, greedy gobbler.
Brrr.
It will paw at the food, eat it, and it will take it away, going back on it, pouncing on its back legs up into a tree and beginning to eat your rations, and before making its way along.
Oh, so loud.
And it will leave.
Yeah, it was. Goodbye.
What the heck? Okay.
Fang is just kind of like laughing his ass off.
What did he have a name, or was he just bear?
His name was. I want all your food without having to work for it.
Oh, lazy. Freeloader.
Kind of a bear.
Oh shit, you can hear me. I'm sorry.
I assume you try to calm the horses down a bit. Nonetheless, you all can return to your sleep as a bear had just approached your camp looking for food.
Even
Fang,
worse.
what was that? See it?
Could have been worse.
Could have been. That's why I said it was lucky. It was like, out of all the things it could have been, all the strange things you've seen, a black bear. Yeah, it's doable. Fang, you would know black bears. I assume you've got a good nature, right? They are the
Yeah,
most timid
pretty
of
damn
bears. They don't like confrontation, but they're opportunistic. They'll take from humanoid cats if they can.
Well, he got more than he.
Exactly. Hey, that was a good encounter. He got XP off you guys from that one. And
Oh no.
Wait, there's XP in this game?
sorry, I'm keeping that secret. Oh
It's
god.
gonna come back even
Dude, next
better.
time we
Jesus.
see him, bro. Next time we see him, he's gonna have a guitar.
Dire
Give him a
bear.
bard.
All right. Next up is Katai, I believe, as the rest of your shift goes
Yes.
Hey,
well, Zian.
he hands her the signal whistle.
Should I? Will it make noise when I blow into it?
It's like a normal whistle. Yes, it will
Oh,
make
okay.
noise.
I thought it was like a dog whistle. Like you can't hear it when you
Wait,
blow
does
into
that
it.
does that mean Katai has to blow it from her stomach mouth?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'll take good care of it.
All right. Give me a perception check, Katai.
Hidden, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
I do have dark vision, if that does help.
I'll keep that in mind. Keeping a lookout for bears, and the story of the slime mold's rot and its infectious parasitic nature. You rest, but you can't help Katai. Though you know it's distant away, you can hear the slapping and movement of water on the nearby beach of Gourd Lake. Maybe it's why you haven't been sleeping at home too much when you get the chance. Can't help but always hear the slapping of water when it's nearby. And though your watch is not as focused as you wish it was, nothing approaches you.
Good. I can't remember who said was next. I nudge Roz with my foot.
Is it morning?
No, it's your turn.
Alright.
Here's a whistle. You blow it, and it makes noise.
I know how the whistle works. Holds his hand out.
I'll hand it over.
All right. Roll me perception check, Ross. How long are you guys' watches, by the way? You're only doing 4 watches? Who gets to sleep the whole night?
Let Jobin sleep, please.
Fang was trying not to volunteer for watch.
Jobin needs his beauty sleep.
I think Fang's gonna get the
What do you
next
mean Fang needs his beauty sleep?
one. You could have slept on the back of the horse.
Fang, we need you on watch. You're gonna take a watch, please.
Fang will take a watch. Fang explains to you that when he sleeps in the wood, he doesn't stand watch. He just sleeps.
You sleep with other people all the time? Nope. These are a bunch of city dwellers. We need to have watches.
Oh, Fang explains he wouldn't be sleeping out here in the middle of the fucking road like an idiot. But yeah,
Well,
Fang
this is
will take a watch.
extraordinary times, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Early in the morning, technically, for you, Ross. You keep an eye out. You stare. You notice the beauty of the forest. You remember the darkness that lies in it. And though your light is shining beside you, you can see deep into the forest far. On the lookout for any breeze that moves with a little bit more malevolence than it should. More control. Things beyond your sight. And though it bristles, there is nothing here to haunt you tonight. And your watch ends. For Fang.
Yep, Ross go and tiptoe past Jobin and give Fang a shake.
Beetle will try to prevent you from waking up Fang.
Well, I guess he'll try to reach past Beetle, I guess.
Alright, as soon as you try to reach past Beetle, rather than giving him pets as he wanted to, he lets out a small cry that wakes up Fang.
No, just go to bed. Beetle, it's too late.
You mean it's early, Fang?
Oh, what are you doing? Oh yeah, the watch.
Sun's
I'll
coming
do
up.
I'll do my best. Go get your rest.
All right, so I'll pass over the whistle, and then I'll go back to my rock.
Fang takes and he goes back to bed. I'm kidding.
Beetle will be on watch.
No, Fang will do what they want.
Excellent.
He doesn't let Beetle sleep at all.
No?
They chitter together all night.
Oh, perfect. They will chitter chatter.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Alright.
Okay, Fang. Alright. I almost said what you rolled out loud. I shouldn't do that. I definitely shouldn't do that. Okay. During the night, you can't help but hear the sound of something in the forest. Something moving. Not too far away. North within the forest. It sounds like footsteps, Fang. Multiple sets of footprints. The moment you try to look towards that direction, the moment you try to perceive it, however, the footsteps suddenly scatter, as though they had seen you perceiving them. And you lose all sight and sound of them.
Does it sound like small footprints? Or like medium-sized footprints? Or like bear-sized footprints?
With your perception, it sounded like 4 humanoids.
I think Fang would have called out to him. Said, hey, who's over there? What are you doing?
You hear more footsteps. They grow further away.
Fang will tell Beetle to stay here and to wake the others if something happens. He'll turn into a fox and he'll go investigate the footsteps.
Okay. Simple enough. You travel forward and into the small trail. You move a part of the forest yet again, and nature itself. With no rain to muddle the footprints, you gonna search for tracks?
Yep.
I believe there is a skill for that, is there not?
I know survival covers tracks. I'm trying to look.
I think it's perception. Yes, your ears were correct. 4 humanoids. 4 humanoids wearing sandals, it would seem. Sandals that people would use for while traveling within the forest. It's clear to you that they were watching your party for a small amount of time before you had alerted them. And then they ran. They ran full sprint into the northern forests. You could track them. But it goes far and far, and they look like they were going fast.
Alright, Fang will go back. And he'll just keep an eye out to the north. And he'll just let people know in the morning.
And keep your eye out. Beedle almost alerts the party whenever you return, as per your orders. But quickly, you guys can return together. And soon enough, the sun cracks before any more noises or creatures draws any closer. 8 a.m. arises, and you all can start to awaken. Unabated from anything within the forest, henceforth. I assume you wake up each other, find some well amount of rest, change spells if you wish the chance, as you need to spend an extra hour. But it is daytime again. That is the wrong one. There we are. If there's anything you all wish to relay, you're more than welcome to.
Good sleep.
There were people watching us last night.
Oh.
They ran
People?
off when I noticed them.
From the town?
No,
From
definitely
Willowshore?
not. No.
What direction did they go?
North. I could have tracked them, but I didn't want to leave everyone. We could still try, but it'll be difficult. And it'll
The
lead
town is,
into the woods.
I mean, the people, Granny Who and Old Man Mitsuki are expecting us back today. It's supposed to be a day travel there. Tell them the news, and then a day travel back.
Could
Well,
have been people from
just-
Korahai.
I mean, it could have been. I don't know why they would have run from us.
Well, they don't know who we
Maybe
are, so...
maybe it's the people causing this mist that's stopping us.
There's a person causing this mess. I don't think we can stop them.
What? I mean,
It's awful
could just be a
pessimistic.
ritual. I mean, if we can't stop them, we could learn about them and figure out what they're trying to do. They could be the people that unlit the lantern and invited all the demons to our town. Don't you want to know who they are? They could have the
Yes.
governor, like...
Should
We don't have any evidence of that
Yes, randomly chasing people through the forest.
right now.
I'm-
What Granny Who and Old Man Mitsuki asked us to do is to go to Karahai, deliver
Yeah,
the message, and come back.
But I don't really care what they asked us to do. I just want to know what's happening, what's gonna keep happening, and what we can do about it. And all I know is the only lead we have is the 4 people watching us at night.
How is that a lead?
If I didn't notice, well, why wouldn't they just approach us and ask us what we were doing if they were,
Well,
you
I
know,
could have
good,
thought
good-meaning citizens? We don't
good
look like
meeting
bandits.
citizens don't... I don't know about that. People don't normally camp out on the roads. Citizens definitely normally don't. They're probably much afraid of us as we are of them.
Should we pursue them and see if we can track them, or go back to the fog and see if it's gone?
I say we track them.
I vote we return to the fog.
Right now, we need to get help.
We only have so much daylight. I agree we could die. Let's head back towards Core High.
Why don't I go track them and you head back to Core High?
I don't think we should split up like that in the woods after running into that creature earlier.
I'm in these woods all the time.
You usually come out this far.
Me and Beal will be alright.
I don't think it's wise to do that. You should stay with us, and if the fog is still there, then we'll just come back and we'll...
I mean,
track
why
the
do we
people.
all need to go to this town and deliver this message?
I mean, we've lost a lot. The town has been mangled. We need the support. That's why we're going to the town.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why do all of us need to go?
I
Safety
think
in
you're...
travels and numbers.
Yeah. And you're very useful at the woods and all.
Especially on the road.
Yeah.
How many times do you want to try with the fog before?
If it's still there, then I say we find an alternate route.
Doesn't at least hurt to check, is all. Like, if it's still there, then we'll figure something else out.
Yeah, we could probably take the mountain route.
I don't know why, but I get the feeling that this fog is not just on the road. I feel like it would be surrounding all of... I feel like it might be like a radius around Willowshore. I know that's a jump, that's a leap. But I don't know, I just have that gut feeling.
We can find out then when we take the mountain route, if it is or not. You're probably right. I kind of agree with you, but we don't really know until we can get to the other side.
Like you're disagreeing with each other. But I need a decision, unless you wish to split your party.
I think we
Jobin's
should
in
go
the
back
camp of fault. Yeah. Complete our task. Go get the Kara High. We need to do. That's what Jobin wants to do. Is that 3 for
Yeah, that's
going back?
3 then. Going back to the fog.
Unless you all are not a democracy, I'll take you back to the fog. Fang, Beetle counts for a vote.
No, he doesn't.
No.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, come on. Come on. Come on.
No, it's alright. We'll do what the consensus is.
I'm sure the fog will still be here. It just... I would hate to, like, not check, and then it turns out the fog was actually gone, you know?
Okay.
And Fang, you can keep an eye out, see if there's any signs.
Yeah, Fangle will like mark some trees, like so he can like remember this location. But he'll move with everyone else.
All right.
Before we leave, Jobin's going to go ahead and cast Pocket Library for the day.
And so, you all move. Getting back on your horses. I assume not giving the one a break and still using the same patterns as you had before, right? Perfect.
Yeah.
Together you travel Gourd Lake is all but the same. The Overcast, the same. When you reach the bend, it takes an hour to do so. You had taken an hour to flee the mold, and yet, as you make your way towards the bend, it is all the same. You see the forest beyond, the turn in the river, the path that leads in but a few hours, 2, 3 maybe, to Karahai. If you could just make this bend around the corner of the trail, you'd be able to see it and the Sea of Ghosts. You look towards each other, not remembering exactly where this fog descended on you before, and you move again. Is it all of you?
Yes. Should we try to go through one at a time, just to see?
Didn't we try that?
No, we didn't.
I thought we did.
I think we all just went in. We all went in together every time.
We tied each other's together
Yeah.
with the rope.
I'm just curious to see what happens. I guess like it might end up separating us, which is why we didn't do it in the first place. But like,
I think it's a terrible idea, but
Yes,
if you're going
it
to do
is.
it, you're going to do it without a horse, and you're going to do it walking by yourself. And you
that's
go.
fine. I'm okay doing that. I will do that.
Should we confirm it's still there first?
We just did.
We
Right.
just
Or are these all the same?
I thought it was ambiguous on whether or not it was still there or not.
we can't see it until we walk in, if I remember correctly. So
There is no
Yeah,
fog
it
there.
looks complete.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks. There's no fog. We walk in. We're all of a sudden blinded by fog. And then we walk out in the opposite direction, back the way we came.
I am going to close my eyes. I'm going to walk through the fog that is not there, and I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to go by myself first.
Close your eye. You get off the horse. And you walk. Alone. You move. Those of you that watch Kitai move forward. Defiantly, do you have your blade in hand, Kitai?
Probably. Yeah. I probably have a blade in my hand and then a light in my other hand.
Excellent. Kitai gets a few steps. Pressed into the trail. Before from nowhere. And yet everywhere at once. Flowing from the trees to your left. And over the river from your right. A fog pours in. And Kitai is swallowed by it. Kitai, you are alone here. You feel something just beyond your skin. You can't see a difference, but any sounds of your allies suddenly is gone. It's just
Fog
the
is still
same
here.
until you hear something behind you. You never stop moving forward. And yet you hear from behind you. Kitai?
I don't look, obviously, so I just keep walking.
Kitai?
Not today, spirits. Just gonna keep on going.
Ross?
It's technically not my name, so.
Do you open your eyes?
No, I don't open my eyes. I just keep walking. I just keep going. Can't see evil. Yeah, if you don't want to open your eyes.
Perhaps it's because you can feel more of your sense of smell and touch. But you feel a gust around you, enveloping you, surrounding you, guiding you, your movements. But it's constantly shifting and overlapping, as though there's a current from every direction. All of this is happening in but 10 seconds, I will note. Do you ever open your eyes?
I do not open my eye, ever.
Give me a will save.
Okay. Oh, I made it hidden. Can you reveal that?
Okay.
I'm gonna reroll that with a hero point.
All right. The interaction, the new feelings, the faint taunting. A 24 is what you needed. And thus this is
24?
still a failure.
Jeez.
It's not a critical failure.
Yeah, it's not a critical.
That is why I told you. It is not a critical failure, however, because you steal your mind and you don't turn around. You are frightened, one, as light pushes behind your eyelid, and you realize that whatever has fallen over you has disappeared. But you are frightened.
Okay. Without opening my eye, I do call out to see if the other group is around. If I got kicked back to the start.
The rest of you, you saw Kitai walk in, and 10 seconds later, Kitai has walked out, facing you all, and the fog, as quickly as it was there, flows back in every direction, thinning and disappearing. Kitai, you call out. Who speaks first, or does someone prank them?
If you call out and we see you, Jobin will say, "Katai, you turned around. We're here."
Damn. I will open their eye. Fuck. Damn it. I hate this stupid fog.
Taking a moment to breathe. You are able to remove the frighten, holding on to your blade, realizing you're back with your party.
Definitely heard someone in there, though. But yeah, it's still there. Didn't work. Unless someone else wants to give it a shot, but...
Any ideas how we could bait it out?
Yeah, when you walk through, we saw the fog show up. So like, even though we were outside of it, we saw it swallow you.
Maybe we could find it when it appears? When someone else is in?
It was calling my name, trying to get me to turn around, so... I had my eyes closed the entire time, though, so... But we can try
could
something.
Attempt to exercise it, if it is some sort of spirit.
Do you want to give it a shot?
It might open the way, so yes.
Do you want to go in by yourself?
Probably needs to get close enough where I can exercise it. When we all went through, I never really heard of anything of it. You said it spoke to you?
It did. It called my name, and your name as well.
Maybe I need to go in alone then. If it will hide itself, if more of us go in. ideas.
If you want to give it a shot, I say go for it, but whatever's in there is trying to mess with your head.
Well, if it's like those phantoms that we saw before. Talking to it is a way to harm it. So maybe even not turning around, but still communicating with it.
And what? I'd say it's the most wonderful fog I've ever seen.
I don't know.
I mean, that's how you get spirits to
mean-
go away, yeah, so give it a shot.
I mean, we clearly don't think this is like spirits, right? It's obviously those people that were watching us.
Fang.
Alright, get in
I
there,
mean,
Ross.
I'll go confront it if you want.
Well, Fang, maybe you stick to the sides of the force. If there are those people, maybe they're blowing it from the force entrance, giant fan or something.
Well, I mean, it's probably magic, but I could take a look.
All right, and Ross will get off the horse and
Do you want a guidance before you go in?
Guidance only lasts 6 seconds.
it will be there
No.
gone in a moment.
Is it only 6 seconds?
Yeah, until the start of your
Yes,
next
it's
turn.
Oh,
No, see if I can confront it. Maybe make it show itself.
Do you want to? I don't think you can bring the whistle. It'll matter. So, just scream, I guess, if you start dying.
All right, will do.
Ross, you move in.
He will.
There's nothing.
Like, no fog or nothing?
Until it appears again.
Oh,
After a few steps in that direction, yet again the fog descends, stretching from the forest to the north, and from the river to the south and beyond your vision. It stretches and consumes you, Ross. Your eyes are open, however, right? Your body
They are.
attuned. And as you move within, you feel this cold as it begins to whip around you. Tell me, what do you do? I give you one action.
Spirit. You trouble these roads, this path. But there could be a better use for you. You could cause havoc elsewhere. Show yourself to me. What are you called?
There is a whipping around you, in every direction surrounding you. You feel all these currents, this overwhelming feelings, and then you feel cold. Whispers at the edges of your ear. Your face begins to grow pale. Your body begins to tremble as you invite this. And you will hear them speak. We are the path. A wind whips your eyes. You force them shut before your eyes open. Those of you that are on the outside see suddenly a blue glow within the fog. Pain racks your body as Ross, a familiar feeling, begins to surround you. An invitation for you to see. And you do see. And I will not describe it to you. I will only show you, in private, what is around you, clinging on to you, pulling you, and stopping you. For but a briefest moment. Do you see?
I do.
Before your eyes are shut yet again from the pain, your body is racked. Your bones poke out of your own skin. Your tusks grow. Your skin dampens, pales, and becomes dead. And you suffer your curse. And as you fall down to your knees, and the mists part from around you, you're facing your party, weakened, but alive.
How did it go?
He doesn't look so good.
Not well. It's souls lost from the cycle. Trapped here.
Why here?
Souls?
Yeah, souls plural?
Yes.
Like Ty was right? Souls?
Yeah, I'm right.
Wait, what do you mean souls? Like the four guys who were watching us, their name Soul?
No.
Saul, Saul, Soul, and
The
Sam.
essence of an entity.
Spirit.
Yes. Human and not human.
What did they want?
They said they were the path. They didn't exactly elaborate.
Well,
Path.
didn't you tell them that they weren't the path? That you were on the path? That they were pretending to be the path? That it was really annoying that they were pretending to be the path? And if they were a path, they would let us walk the path? Because then we could go where we're trying to go? To the other end of the path?
I didn't have much time to have a conversation with the thing.
Speaking of which, Ross, give me a will save.
I'll report that.
Come on, take a critical failure. Still a failure. And though you are shaken by the experience, the effect it's had on your body does not disappear. You are frightened, and as you regain composure, you can stand from your knees. Unfrightened. Alive. But more numb and cold than before.
So, it's is it some type of amalgamation of spirits or souls, or is it a bunch of individual souls that are doing this?
It's a... Well, it seemed like a large grouping of them.
What did you talk nice to them? I thought you guys said to talk nice to them.
That wasn't exactly nice.
Oh.
Okay. Maybe.
Or should one of us go in there and ask him nicely?
Well, how about this? Now that we've seen that, maybe we get all up on our horses, we walk through, and while we're in there, we ask nicely if we can be let through.
It's good have enough plan for me.
Yeah,
I
I
say
don't
we
mind
try at
going
least,
in there and asking Saul to let us through.
We should
It's
try
not
at least,
just one.
once
It
or
was
twice.
very
Yep.
many.
Also, don't call them souls or spirits or anything like that. Remember the first practice? Don't call a ghost a ghost.
I don't
mean,
think
you
these are
gotta-
ghosts. I think these are like just lost spirits. I think there's a difference, you know.
I was gonna call him
What's-
Saul.
What's the difference between a ghost and a spirit?
I mean, I feel like ghosts are more malevolent, you know.
and
maybe
this
these
isn't
are ghosts
malevolent.
then.
What
Yeah,
they did to
I said
he-
it and then
he
I
like
realized.
They have a desire, yes. They want to pull more into the path they are on. The path to beyond this world.
I can try to
This-
say a
I
prayer
feel
Wait,
that
while
don't
we're
you
way.
do
here.
that thing where you lead them beyond the world? Why don't you do that? Take them to your river or what it is that you do.
A good attempt, but there is quite a many of them.
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
I mean,
If not,
I'll try to help. I'll try to help you. Can I help?
How much do you know of Pharasma's ways?
I know it makes I very mad, and I know that it stops undead from happening, and I think that's pretty cool. That's it. That's about it.
so, are we in agreement that we'll all get on a horse, go through together, and act nicely and see what happens? If we, pop up back here, and we know acting nice doesn't work, and maybe we need to find another. I still think it's around the entire region, but we could try another way.
Do we
Wait,
have
but
a
they called
lantern?
themselves a path. They didn't call themselves a,
Cryptoite, how much do I think they or it encompasses in like form and flow?
They were all consuming. It was all consuming. It felt impenetrable, impossible. It felt like horror, terror, overwhelming and impending doom. So much so that your body, you do not know if it will recover after being exposed to them. Um, it is beyond you, you feel, Ross. It is beyond anything that you have experienced, even in the darkest of your days.
I don't know if they're surrounding the whole force around the village or not, but I don't think it's something I can fully get rid of. Might be best to find a different path, as they want more to join them.
Is there a religion check we can make to try to figure out what we could do to excise these ghosts?
You're welcome to give me a religion check. You had made one before, but you didn't have what Ross has seen.
Would it be?
I can attempt also.
Yeah, would it be better if Ross did it then, opposed to me?
Don't forget, by the way, Ross, to mark on your sheet the negatives. I'm gonna use the ones that we had talked about before. That you have thoroughly gone down a step, being exposed to them. Kitai, from what has happened to your brother's body, and you saw the fear or strangeness in his eyes when he's speaking to you, you know what he is experiencing and what he has done. What comes to mind to you is nothing of this scale has ever been seen or heard of. And you feel as though if you angered them further, it might cause the downfall of everyone, if you're not careful.
Okay. So, we should probably just find another way then, is what I'm kind of understanding.
So Saul's not gonna let us through.
They're not gonna let us through now. They, being jerks.
Perhaps, Katai, they're even here because of what you've done.
What we've done?
What you've allowed to happen. Who knows?
Oh, you're talking with the lantern, huh?
No, he's not talking about that, Katai.
Is he? He's talking about.
He's talking about the tea house.
Or one of the other arguments we've had in the last few days.
We have like a lot of arguments. There's like a lot of things.
Well, pick which one you're most angry with me at the moment.
Okay, that's okay. I'll do
And
that.
blame it on that one.
So back to town then.
And really quick, Ross did also roll. Ross, it is so far beyond you that you are unsure. The problem with them is the feeling that you got was a taunting, sinister force. They were not pleading.
Yeah, I didn't think they were pleading.
They are taunting you. And they are, from your approximate knowledge, beyond you.
Okay.
You don't even think Elizeth knows what to do with this sort of thing, let alone yourself. There is no exorcism that you could come up with, no ritual that you know, perhaps that anyone in this region knows, whether in Karahai or here or Willowshore, that could deal with such a force. But you know its nature.
Okay. So we can head back to town. Maybe old man Mitsuki might know something in back when Willowshore was founded, that something like this may have happened. We're not sure. Or and while we go back, Jobin looks at Fang. We can go look at those tracks if that will make maybe there's something there. I don't know. I doubt it. Right now, it looks like there's no way for us to get to Kara High, and we need to let Old Man Mitsuki and Granny who know that there's no way to get to Kara High.
Well, there's no path to Car High, but
We don't want to try through the mountain.
we could go through the mountains. Yeah.
Uh, um,
It's like a super
Great.
detour, but like we could try still.
currently where we like, the bend is is it that crossroads right before we get off map? Is that where it's happening?
Let me take a look and see what you're talking about.
So if you look all the way on
It
the
is
right side
not.
of the map.
It is not.
Okay, so it's before that.
It is before. You're on the bend to go up towards that.
Okay.
See that kind of like
So-
where the river turns to the east, and it's like a clear, straight shot? That
Yeah,
at the end
like
of the
a
map.
straight up north.
You're trying to
like
get
straight
vision on
up,
that.
down.
If you could see that like kind of path towards the east, then you would be able to see Kara High. You'd be able to see everything. You'd be able to see the Sea of Ghosts. You're currently on the bend below all of that, on that little corner. I posted an image of where you're at in the just below the map posting in the Discord.
Okay, so that little corner. Okay,
Mhm.
that little point. Okay. So the only direction we either go straight through woods, climbing up the mountain, or go all the way back around and then come down south past it.
What road leads to Kara High? Is it the one that goes north after the little crossroads are at, or is it further to the east?
East.
So, right. Yeah.
East. So
So
even going
we-
through that path wouldn't help then, right? Because we would still have to go through here.
So the idea is that if it's like a wall, right? And then there's another side of the wall. Then if we went all the way back around to the north side, and then you see that path that's cutting down south, like
Mhm.
north
Here-
south, we'll be on the other side, and then we can go east from there, if that's the case.
So I think that we should try to go around through the woods and the mountain to get to Car High. Not because I'm so eager to deliver this letter, but some of you have mentioned you think that this may be surrounding the whole region, and if we could confirm that, and not bring
Yeah.
back just suspicions, I think that would be most helpful to the
So,
people of Willowshore.
so you're
agree.
saying like from this bend where we are, just start walking straight north.
Yep.
Right? I mean, we would cut west a little bit into the forest, go up that Green Mist Pike, and then cut back east once we go over the peak.
Yep, I think that's what we should do.
Okay. The horses will have trouble.
Wait,
You won't get any more benefits from their speed unless you're on the trails. But I'm assuming that's
Joven
okay.
does ask.
Hmm?
Joven does ask a question. Why is it called silk? Green silk peak.
Because of the spiders.
Oh,
I don't even think I need to roll a check. Is that right? Crip? Probably because there's lots of spiders up there.
Let me take a look for you. I actually think this is one of those weird things. Really quick. Allow me a moment. But yeah, roll me a check. I'll see.
have we tried attacking the ghosts? By the way, we tried just trying to.
No, that's a bad idea. A horrible idea.
Slice them up, just.
Now, just remember when we go inside this forest, we might run into that weird slime rot thing. 'Cause that's where it came from.
I'd rather try to
Don't
fight
touch it.
that than a ghost. So.
Let's see. Okay. It's called Green Silk Mountain You don't know it to have spiders per se. Maybe at one point, maybe spiders were seen up there. I will say that you're able to know that it is the highest point in the surrounding region. That is why it's called the Green Silk Peak. It goes nearly 2,000 feet in elevation. It is a tiring ascent. It will be greater difficult terrain all the way up to it. It is an expansive view. I think perhaps with your role, you would think that it is because at one point a painter had described it being a silky smooth vision, a silky smooth sight, a view from the very top.
As long as it's not spiders, jumping's okay.
Fang, if you want to give a hero point to that, you can, by the way. A fair warning.
Give one?
You
Sure.
don't feel like you know much about Green Silk Peak, is what I am trying to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll re-roll it. I would like to seem knowledgeable about the things I claim to be knowledgeable about. But I will double down on spiders if I have to.
Okay. It was, in fact, known for spiders. It was, in fact, known for massive spiders. But when I say known, I mean that literally. It's said that in legends there is an ogre spider that stayed near the top of this peak. But when the lumber lords of Tianzia made their way here years and years ago, they cut down its tree and slayed it, making it a point. It was one of the few in the region of these spiders that existed. And even to this day, even though its tree has been cut and it is killed and no longer is around, it is still known as Green Silk Peak. The lumber lords did so that they would have a spot to contact Karahai using long-distance signals such as smoke. And it is that ruinous spot where the trunk is where you can stand to be the tallest point in the Spectre Woods region around Willowshore. It is a very tiring ascent, though. I will tell you that. Like I said, greater difficult terrain, but the threat of the ogre spider, or for some of those who, you know, it's a spot. It's a site. It's an interesting site, and I say that in two different ways. Sight is in location, and sight is in what you can see around you.
Yeah. Fang will recount the tale to the party as a tragedy of this once great spider who lived big and had it all until civilization and man came and ruined it.
Do you know what an ogre spider is?
I'm assuming it's a spider the size of an ogre.
It is a spider the size of an elephant.
What?
That's a big spider.
No, even though those lumber lords, abandoned us, they did some good stuff while they were here.
What?
Fang, you gave me an idea.
I did?
Yeah, you know that story that you just told us about the smoke signal on the top of the mountain?
Yes.
What if we did that?
Could use it as a last resort if we can't get through.
Yeah. That way we could tell at least Karahai that something's wrong.
Do we know the smoke signals?
Well, I mean,
Just a smoke, right?
Oh, usually you have to signal something like SOS or something.
well, I mean,
Do any of us know smoke signals?
yeah. How do I figure out if I know?
Anybody got
was my
lore
check
smoke
good enough?
signals?
Lore farming.
You ask about this. No, I don't have smoke signal lore.
Wow, come on, guys.
I do have
It would be like lore warfare.
Willowshore.
If you have warfare lore, that could probably be a smoke signal thing. Or
Anyone here's been at war? Really, Jobin?
looks at Katai. Maybe.
Military tactics
Yeah.
would be what I would allow here.
Maybe.
Would you
Or
accept
linguistics.
hunting lore?
I would accept it, but it would be more
consuming lore?
difficult.
Well, what about a really good survival check?
I would accept it, but it would be more difficult DC.
Nice.
I mean, it's smoke. Something's wrong if there's smoke.
Well, you guys
Yeah.
need to understand. Fang
Just-
does not like the idea of killing a peaceful ogre spider's home and killing the spider just to make smoke signals, so he just didn't pay attention to that part of the story.
You also,
Would you
Fang,
think,
to remind you, are not a
society check?
huge fan of smoke. But go ahead, roll me
I
a society.
definitely am not. I definitely am not.
Do you think a society check might can work on this?
Yeah, again, it's just not as easy as military or
Okay.
linguistic or
So
Morse codes and whatnot.
what you see Jobin point into the sky, open up his palm. There's a little book falls out from the sky, lands into his hand, and he's going to use his pocket library on this society check.
And they said it wouldn't be useful.
We haven't seen it be useful yet.
Yeah, it was useful we used it on the moss creature.
Let him get his mileage out of it.
Give
Hold on.
it to me. Give me a roll.
Oh, but all right, pocket library, and then society. Blind.
Yep.
And pocket library.
Like
on.
to-
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, if you like turn the smoke off and on, it would look weird. That's a oh, okay, that's fair. You can tell that it wasn't that good, huh? Now, with what you have here, you're able to pull from it one of Shini and their military tactics. From mountain to mountain across the Spectre Wood for some time, this was a method of communication. It may have gotten them in some trouble with some spirits at some point. The Guardians of the Forest, which are very known entities. Jobin, you perhaps would worry about the only one within Willowshore's proximity, which is the Great Willow. It's the tree that is overseeing Willowshore itself, that is said to be the guardian spirit of Willowshore. As long as you are respectful of the environment and do not allow the fire to go out of hand, within it you're able to find the help signal for that you would need just within this book.
Okay. All right. So you see here, it looks like you have to. Does it? I guess we can use a bedroll, but you got to cover it and release it in this pattern here, and that should be the signal for help. Hopefully, somebody's paying attention.
Okay, that's good.
All
That's
right,
good.
it's a plan B.
Fang is picking his nails.
I think that's plan C now.
Pocket library is done.
All right.
I could bond bond familiar to recast it, just in case.
Well, let's leave this and get on a move on.
You know, I feel like we really dunked on Pocket Library to start, but I feel like, it's really pulling its weight.
All right. Now then, you all travel northward. The horses seem upset they have to go through this. I'm assuming you ignore them.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They're making a lot of noise.
Are you guys using exploration activities? Sorry, continue, Jobin.
No, he's just making a silly comment.
If we use exploration activities, we're gonna move at half speed. don't really think we can afford that right now, unless we come to an agreement we want to move at half speed, but
I mean, we're already moving double difficult terrain. Do we want to go double?
No.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise we won't be able to even get up most of the mountain today.
yeah, we got a motor,
If you make it to the top of Green Silk Peak, and then you immediately headed home using the treacherous trail, you would make it before sundown. But the path to Green Silk Peak, and then going back home without taking the trail, you'll have to spend another night in the hinterlands. It is a heavy detour,
we wanna try
2,000
and
feet
go
at greater difficulty.
We want to try and go down the other side and cross the path on that side, so...
And then it will be a few days before you get home. If you go through the other side and around.
One problem at a time.
Yeah.
First, get up the mountain and see what we even see.
Yeah, let's work out one problem at a time.
All right. The path up is gruesome, tedious, difficult, and tiring. Any of you that have been hiking up a steep hill goes high and high and high. You lose your breath often. You have to take breaks. But eventually, after 4 hours of travel, in the afternoon, you'll finally start to see the peak itself. You see at the very top of it, the one tree, a massive tree that was cut, and its trunk, which rises 2 feet off the ground, and the sky is beautiful up here. A breathtaking view as you all reach the top with the horses. I imagine some of you crumple as soon as you hit the top and look over the side. And from here you can see over all of the trees, the river, and the surrounding environments. Perhaps you were expecting to see something horrible. Perhaps you were expecting to see something terrifying after all of your bad luck. However, as you've climbed to the peak, and on this overcast, clear day, there is Karaheim, nestled in the distance, just on the edge of the beautiful Sea of Ghosts. Mists clinging to its edge. You can see the beaches of it. You can see the coastal city, the fortress itself, known as Karaheim. It rises from the beaches, clear as day. You see the rest of the river that runs down. Nothing blocks your vision. What do you do?
Do we
Does
want to try to
Korahai
keep going?
Look okay?
Looks fine. The whole region looks fine. The whole region looks
fog
beautiful.
anywhere.
No evidence of fog anywhere. In any
Wild.
direction.
I want to actually look for Ugly Cube. See if I see a big creature spider moving around in the trees somewhere around this area.
Give me a perception check. Though you have a clear eye here, Fang, perhaps you've made this journey a few times in your life up to this very peak. It's the most beautiful sight in all of Willowshore. You can see all around you. You can see Willowshore in the distance, far and away. You can see way off, even beyond that, the beginnings and the clouded region covered in trees where you know the monastery to be. You see to the north of you The ruined, burnt down inn that they once tried to build, its ruins gone. But there is no signs of a massive stone spider making its way through.
Okay. Next question. Do I see the governor's mansion anywhere?
You do not.
Okay.
The main thing that you can see of Willowshore is, like as I said, the most defining feature of it, despite it being a town, a village, is the massive tree that overhangs it.
Yeah. Okay.
The wind whipping at all of your faces. The horses, out of breath. The only one of you that doesn't feel the wind on your face is Ross. But continue.
Do we want to make that signal fire?
Yeah, does
I thought we were gonna try and trip down and
Yeah,
see
we were
if
gonna
we
try
could
to
get across
trip
on the
down.
other edge.
then we have to come. Then if it doesn't work, we have to come back up. Why don't we just
Well-
do the
Well,
thing
we do
and
that,
then go?
but we gotta figure out. Oh, you're saying so we don't have to climb all the way back up here?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Either way,
Well,
we both
I-
send help, I guess.
Yeah, might as well do it when we're here. We go down. If it is still blocked, then we can at least go back.
Okay.
Right. So this is the pattern. If somebody wants to set up the thing, I can light it.
Alrighty, I start gathering wood and kindling.
Also, make sure you set it up in a way that it can be controlled, so we don't get in trouble with the Guardian.
Yes, right. Do you
Okay.
want me to make a check for building this this signal fire?
With Jobin's help and high roll, you will not need one.
Alrighty.
As long as you are not being careless, the damp environment of Willowshore will prevent a wildfire.
Alrighty.
Before long, kindling is brought. Bedrolls are used. You think it's fair that it would take an hour for you guys to set up everything and then start the fire?
Yeah.
Okay, another hour is ticked off. The fire is lit. Smoke takes a while to build up, but as it begins to, underneath the bedrolls, Jobin, you time and guide, and together, you create a pattern of smoke that releases in bunches into the sky, rising out of view and thinning out. Anyone on watch at the fortress of Karahai would be able to see this.
I'm guessing the people at Willowshore would be able to see it too, right?
If they're looking at the right spot, perhaps, yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I guess we can put up once we do the signal good enough, long enough. Hopefully somebody can see it, and then we turn off the fire and then head down and try to see if we run into that mist again.
Yep. Sounds good.
Down we go.
And we go.
Over the opposite end this time, right?
Yep, opposite side.
Yep.
Okay.
Towards Korahai.
Karahai, right? Are you heading right down to Karahai, like to head back onto the trail at the crossroads?
think so.
No. We're going
No?
down and around. So, like looking at this map here, we're up on this peak.
Mhm.
You know, we came from the south, east. We're gonna go down to the northeast.
To
We're
the tip
trying
of
to
that,
basically.
the tip of that orange dotted line on the east side.
Mhm. That is a wilderness trail. The horses would be able to be used through those. Not very effectively. It's the same as walking. But
Yeah,
they're
we're essentially trying to circumvent the crossroads where the mist is to see if we can get to Karahai another way.
Is there a bigger map we can look at? Because if that road in the north can like head
One in the
there.
player's guide.
Oh, there's one in the player guide.
Yeah. I put that one in the or sheet too.
it's yeah.
Okay.
All right. It will take you 2 hours to descend, though it is not an easy descent. And before long, traveling, you are not affected by anything else along the way, save the various small creatures that cling in the forestry. And though you still have light, it is but 4 p.m. already. The sun begins to descend, and you catch the trail. Nothing has stopped you yet. Where do you wish to go on the trail? I'm going to assume you're at the very,
End of the orange line right now. Right?
if you wish to
Yeah, I
exit the
think-
forest and onto the yellow trail where the road
So
is,
do-
you can.
Do we want to go south or north from here?
Well, let me open up that map in the player's guide. Can we get to Karahai
Yeah,
from that road to
here.
the north?
I think
That's
that's
what
what
I'm trying
we
to figure
did.
out. I'm not sure.
In general,
You
I
could.
think that's what we did.
You could attempt to up there. That
That
location
Canarian.
is the Canarian. Yep, which is a roadhouse, but it was burnt down, as I said. Anyone can roll me a check on that, by the way.
What kind of check?
Society.
Go ahead and just roll a recall knowledge.
Jobin, you would know that though it is a few days' travel to the north from Willowshore, to go all the way around to get to the Canarian, it was a stopping house, right? It was a place to stop before it was just a few days away from Willowshore. The inn burned to the ground a few years back, in an aftermath of a tense standoff between Willowshore's guard and a group of fugitives on the run from Lungwa.
Okay. That was a few years back.
A few years back, yep.
Well, I think we should try to head north towards Canary Inn and then take the right when we get to
Yeah,
it.
if we can go right and get to Karahar, then I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, I agree.
Otherwise, I think we should just cut through the woods to go around the crossroads.
Okay.
Yeah, the main goal is to see. Well, there's two main goals. One, get to Karahai. Two, can't get to Karahai. Is the entire area here surrounded by ghosts?
Very well. And so, you guys travel forth. Simple enough. Simple enough. You travel north. The horses are able to freely move here, and you trot along the way. Free from the actual forestry, perhaps for better or for worse for some of you. The wide spots in the road are few and far between, but there are stopping points for those that journey through the grass here. But as you do make your way about halfway to Canary Inn, this allows for a large amount of tall grass to have grown, as no one really uses this area. As you all begin to travel through, not going at an incredibly fast pace, but still on horses, you all would hear something. Something quiet, but something nonetheless within the tall grass. A strange giggling. Do you slow down? Or do you continue?
I look at Jobin, the resident giggler of the party.
Don't think we should slow down.
Okay. As the giggling is ignored, and you continue to push forward, you pass by the tall grass, and jumping out from it wriggles 3 creatures crawling on their backs, their arms twisted behind them, but they're not made from flesh. Instead, they are roots themselves, thatch pieces grown together, intermittent like knitted weaves, knotted, and their backs flow out of tendrils. You see affixed around their legs, around their knees, where joints would be in any human, are strange blue energies. And leaking from each of these creatures is the strange giggling, as the 3 of them rush out onto the road and jump you all. We'll go to break.
Gerblins.
Oh boy.
That's not a gerblin.
Oh, that's not a
No,
gerblins.
that's not.
Yeah. That's
They,
a
they don't even have a
What
face.
is that?
that's a I would say
That's a weak to fire damage if I ever seen it.
that's
Twig.
what I'm thinking, yeah.
twig doll.
Weak doll.
Twig golem. I don't know.
Jeez. Okay.
I really hope it's not a golem.
Fiber blight.
Fiber blade.
Fiber blade.
Kevin, you need to
Right.
get blights out of your mind. We're free of blights here, Dom. Nope, no blights.
Man, you guys
I
are
know,
going
Kevin.
on a side
Oh,
quest
you're
on
still
the
here.
side quest on your own. I like it. All right, I'm gonna bring you guys
Yeah, I
over.
was thinking what the book says. Like,
I mean, you're already suffering consequences, so don't worry about it. You've lost time, and Roz is fucked up. We're gonna go to break though. You guys, I will see you later. Scene 15. All right. And with that, you all had begun to travel past the tall grass in a wide opening in the road. And when you did, you heard a disturbing amount of giggling coming from it. Not electing to stay and investigate what could be making this noise, you continued to travel past, and as you did, bursting out from the tall grass from both directions onto the road, were creatures made entirely of what appears to be wood and thatch. You can see that their faces are unknowable. They appear to be a bundle of dry grass and twigs held together by coils of glowing blue substance, almost like hair. As they begin to crawl forward, you hear the giggling begin to infect your minds, and they surround you and the horses as they attack.
Monsters.
Defend ourselves.
Damn it. I was hoping you guys would just roll over and die. Now what?
Alas.
Alright. We had our,
That might happen to Jobin trying to get off this horse.
That's true. That's true. Alright. Who is on what horse?
CN and Ross are on a horse.
And then
Give me one
Kataya
sec.
Job.
Give me one sec. I got an easy way of doing this.
I wanted to know specific horse names, you see.
Okay, Jobin and Katira on Buttercup.
Okay.
And Cian and Ross are on Mars.
Fang is scrolling up to find the name of his.
Tenwa.
Tinwa.
All right, who's on Buttercup?
Jobin
and
and
Jobin.
Katai.
Jobin and Katai. You got it? Katai, where the fuck did you go on my map?
I
All
don't
right,
know.
Ross, you're on Marsh, right?
Correct. With Cian.
Excellent. And then we got Fang on Tinwo. Perfect.
Should have been Wotin.
Wotin. Why Wotin?
Because so that when you need to stop, you'd be like, "Whoa, Tin."
Well, I mean, you say the last name first, so it works.
All right, these things are... I'm not going to roll the horses into initiative, if that's all right. They are non-combatants, but they will stop as they hear giggling around them. All right, these guys are using stealth for their initiative.
Stealth for their initiative, huh?
Yeah, they're in the tall grass hanging out.
Jeez. Dang, Jobin. Quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, no need. They can just use their perception. Fuck that. All right.
Are you gonna do that big recall knowledge check, Jobin?
Hopefully, I can survive long enough to do it.
Yep.
Oh, there's two going before us, huh? Rough. Okay.
Hopefully, the horses can survive too.
Yeah, it's an action to command them, by the way, guys.
All right, this one will move
Man,
forward
animal.
and will affect all
Oh,
of you
no.
all with its giggle.
Giggle.
As the back of your minds are filled with it, I'm not sure if it will tell you what it does, but don't worry about it. I promise it's not too bad. As the sounds of the giggles begins to surround your minds and grow deeper and deeper in, these small-sized creatures will begin to rush forward. As the giggle begins to fill your heads, they are going to stare and focus its attention on the leader. Jobin.
Oh, Jobin, you're the leader.
We'll see.
Will save. The giggle
Oh no.
is affecting
the
your
giggle.
mind. Alright, spoilers, shockers. The giggle is giving you a -1 to all of your will saves.
Oh no.
Alright. That is a 16?
Yep.
Nice, that is a success. You will still be affected by it one way or another.
Mhm.
Alright. So, you are momentarily disoriented and you have difficulty controlling your eyes and understanding what's around you. Your senses are muddled. You'll take a -5 foot penalty to your speed. All of your speeds.
Okay.
It will then swing up at you. Does 5e have the ruling where if you're on your mount, you're in all of their spaces? Or no?
I think Pathfinder's like that too.
Okay, Jobin, you would see one of its many pieces of thatch kind of worm out of its back and stomach and go to slash at you. That'll be a miss.
Okay.
All
Roll
right.
privately, by the way.
Oh, am I? Sorry. There you go. It's a miss.
Okay, we're going to jump over to the other thatchling over here, which is going to do the same thing, but instead to Katai. Katai, the giggles fill up your head, and you're going to roll me a will save.
My brain.
You are also able to steal your mind against them. All of your speeds will take a -5, and it will go to attack you. Oh. All right. They will also miss. Jobin, that'll bring it to you.
Okay.
Despite the dangerous circumstances, it's just giggles.
All right. As Jobin tries to stifle his giggling, he's gonna take a look at these two wood creatures and try and do a recall knowledge.
All right. You have no idea what these things are. As they come out at you, they seem strange, otherworldly almost. You have no idea. That is a failure.
Right. He'll probably try again next time. But he's gonna say, I mean, they made our wood, so let's find out. He's gonna go ahead and cast a melee ignition on the one right here.
Okay, sounds good. It opens up and twists its arms. The hands snap at the elbows downwards. As it peers towards you with its facelessness, you strike at it with fire.
Oh.
It twists its body inwards, and the thatch moves it to dodge the attack, allowing the ignition to flow right through it and out the other side.
All right. That's my turn.
All right. Katai. Katai, as you look at them, you remember something.
Ooh, I remember something.
The giggling, your knowledge. You feel as though you know these creatures. Your check would be easier if you did try to recall knowledge.
I will recall knowledge then, since I will have an easier time. Recall knowledge.
Are you looking for anything in particular, or would you like me to give you the baselines?
I'm mostly looking if they have any weaknesses. That's the main thing I'm looking for.
Okay, and then do you want Crypt Lore Dump for the other one?
Yeah, I love Crypt Lore Dumps.
All right, excellent. First of all, its weakness is fire.
Fuck yeah.
Fire is extremely damaging to these creatures, not just on a body level, on a spiritual level. Because these things are quite unfortunate. See, in rural Shenmin, Sangpachi is wildly worshipped. It is wildly followed as a path. You recognize a thatchling when you see them, from the legends told by your family. If someone who is soul-bound for reincarnation is prevented from entering the River of Souls and rejoining the cycle, these souls become frustrated, confused, and when then the fury that they feel, this denial of the body they deserve, and in turn they force vegetation to serve as their new bodies. You know that there are other theories, such as when bodies are in shallow graves, the grass chokes the soul from passing on, and it captures it. You know that these things can talk, they are intelligent, they are capable of speaking, but they rarely do. They are confused souls that do not remember their previous lifetimes, forced to take on a horrid new form. And worst of all, Katai, these could very well be people that you know.
Okay, so... And fire is a good way to purify that, to try to put them back into
With
the,
your
River
high
of
check,
Souls.
the last thing I'll give you, Destroying their vegetative body will do nothing to ending their curse. The only way to prevent them from regaining a vegetative soul is to destroy them with fire. Otherwise, they will come back.
Okay. I will hold up my hand then, and as with my second action, I will summon my weapon. Do I have the ping for it? My Soul Forged manifestation. That I can't really ping to chat, so oh well.
No worries.
Oh, there it is. Nope. I will manifest my Soul Forged armament, which is my katana, and it will appear in a blaze of fire as I choose to make it do fire damage. And my third action, can I swing at it from where I am?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. I will swing at it with my sword. How tragic.
Swinging the blade.
I'm gonna roll a hero point for that one.
Nice. Okay.
There we go.
Simple enough. A 19 will absolutely hit as you strike into the thatch form that this soul has taken over.
All right, for 15 points of fire.
All right. Oh, it all counts as fire.
Oh yeah, it's all fire.
That's nice. As you swing the blade down, the burning light of the sun becoming a flame, it hits the thatch and engulfs it in fire. It takes 20 damage. And as it is surrounded in flames, you see the blue, wiry hair around it disperse, dispatch, and the thatches all burn up as the strange soul that has bound this thing is also dispersed.
I will call the rest of the group. They must be dispatched with fire. You guys have that? Be cool. That'll be my turn right now.
All right. The thatch thing over here will see flame and completely ignore you. Continuing to move forward, this time it is going to start to giggle and crawl up the side towards Fang. Fang, give me a will save. I apologize.
Okay.
Oh no, Katai, you
Oh,
know these things to be undead.
I clicked it as beetle.
Yeah.
Wow. You are able to ignore it entirely. You will not be affected by their curse at all. You are actually immune to all future Thatchling curses for 24 hours.
Yeah, because curses aren't real.
Uh-huh.
Like, obviously.
Fighting an undead.
This guy.
It will then whip around its frond to strike you.
Oh, that's real. Go ahead and hit me.
You are struck by 2 slashing damage.
I should still have that temp HP. Okay. Alright.
It leans its face forward towards you, and splitting from its back, it will come out and slash at you before it snaps its neck backwards at an awkward angle, throws its leg downwards in a way that would surely break anyone's real body, and twist, malformed, beginning to giggle yet again. Cian, how do you respond?
I'm going to delay until after Ross.
Okay. Ross, you had that negative on you, right, already? I don't need to.
Yes, I did.
Perfect. Fag.
That's why I'm.
That's
way
why
down
you're
there.
way down there? Sounds good.
It's my turn. Okay. Yeah, Fang heard fire, so fire it shall be. He thinks maybe lightning hitting wood should start a fire, but that might be too slow for what Katai wants. So, in the palm of his hand, a small amount of flame will ignite, and he will shove it into the creature.
Excellent. The one to the south?
Yep, I'll roll it.
Sounds good to me.
I'll miss. Okay. Beetle is right next to him. He will command Beetle to protect, and Beetle will.
Attack.
Yeah, Fang will spend 1 action to give Beetle 2 actions, and Beetle will attack twice. First with his mandibles.
That will hit. 10 damage, very well done. It seems to be
And then-
resilient to such a damage.
Okay. And then his second attack, he will stomp on him with his foot.
For a crit.
Beetle is a menace.
Okay. As he stomps out
Protect him
onto
at all
it,
costs.
it continues to giggle, and as it snaps, something different happens this time. It is destroyed, and the thatchwork splinters out and scatters around the area. The glowing blue swirls together, and then begins to seep into the ground, as you see pieces of thatchwork begin to wiggle together. It is destroyed
Oh.
for now.
Is it gonna respawn?
But
Fang
Katai,
will say, "Good,
Hmm?
great job, Beetle."
Katai, you know it will be back in a few days. The soul has
Oh,
not been freed.
jeez.
All
Bang.
right.
Fire, please.
Yeah, I'm trying fire.
If you slay them without fire, their souls will not be at peace.
What?
Their
The-
souls won't go to the afterlife. You know, we talked about the whole thing with Pharasma, you don't like undead? Yeah, you gotta flame with fire so they don't come back as undead.
Alright, I'll burn all this stuff.
I think it's a little too late for that one, but you know, for the other ones, if you wanna give that a shot.
Yeah, well, that's all of Fang's turn.
Ross.
Ross will, I guess, dismount, which is a stride, I believe.
Okay.
I'll spend an action to guidance Fang. Probably the best line of sight wise. And as my last action, I will attempt to create a diversion towards the so they're bright words. I spit out some words attempting to distract its attention to Katai's horse.
Sounds good to me. Anything else you'd like to do?
There's that row for that.
That will succeed. Katai's horse
That's it.
is going to be definitely not as much of a target than you are. Alright, Siyin, your turn comes up.
He yells at Ross, says, "Keep an eye on the horse," and dismounts. Second action will be to run over next to this thing.
Okay, the moment you step in there, the giggles fill your mind.
Okay. Will save.
Nope. They are just creating a negative to your will saves while you're close by.
Okay, he gets grappled.
The
Let's see if
the thatchling gets grappled.
correct. Yep, I will attempt anyway.
All right, that will succeed.
That's my turn.
Perfect. All right, it continues to giggle as you put your hands into it. It feels cold, and despite you getting a hold of some of its arms, it begins to twist its body, breaking where any humanoid would as well, to grab at you and stab at you. But you're holding all the sticks back as much as you can. It will retaliate the best way that it can, and that is by targeting you, Zian. It will turn its body, spinning it around 180 degrees, all of the thatch work itself, so that it's facing you while you're holding it, and it will look at you and just begin to giggle at you. You hear whispering and muttered nonsense, and you swear, Zien, it's from a voice that is familiar to you. But you can't pick out whom. That's a failure, not a critical failure, correct? Nope, looks like you're
Regular
good.
failure.
Just a regular failure.
I'll take it.
Okay. Your speeds are going to be reduced for a minute by -5, but you do not suffer anything worse. It is then going to protrude one of its fronds from its back to stab into you. For a miss. You're all set. Jobin.
Right. He's gonna try again with the ignition against the one by Cian.
Sounds good, that's the only one left.
Yeah.
Okay, a 19 will absolutely hit. 4, sounds good. That will deal 9 damage to it. And while it is set on fire, it does not catch on fire, and it will begin to burn away some of the thatchling.
Right. For his last action, just in case he'll cast shield himself.
Okay, sounds good.
Time.
Good time.
I will use an action to dismount from the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Second action, it will be to get a strike.
Okay. That will hit.
That should kill it.
17 for 22 damage. How would you like to do this?
Same as the other one. I just have my sword just cut through it. It's just made of pure fire, and I'm just gonna incinerate the thatchling.
Excellent. With each cut through the pieces of thatch, you feel breaks in your grip. Nonetheless, as you finish it, it incinerates it upwards and downwards, connecting and breaking the joints held together by the glowing blue. And as it separates, you see the blue mist begin to coalesce to try to find something to rekindle this magic with, to begin reforming its body. But instead, the spirit will move on, trying to find somewhere else, something else to possess. Still unable to pass on, but unable to take this form ever again. That is the end.
Good job, everyone.
It went a lot smoother than I expected it to. Nice job.
Never seen your katana look like that before, Katana.
A blessing of Shizuru.
Can you do other things? Can you make a lightning blade?
I can.
You should use that one more. Fink said I was seeing.
It's only an ability I can use once per sunrise.
Well, next sunrise, choose lightning.
Just for you, I will. Its
Well,
fire is gonna
unless
fade
you know
up
we're
when it-
fighting more straw men. Fire. I thought about lightning, but fire.
I can make it
seemed
sonic
better.
as well. Can then I make it made a sound?
A sound blade.
Mhm.
Fink's kind of trying to work that out in his head. He's very happy with it.
As combat clears and the sound of burning thatch is around you all, Those of you with a higher sense of hearing can hear along the road ahead towards the Canary Inn the very faint sound of singing.
Male or female voice?
From this distance, give me a reception check.
Does it sound like an apron?
Hard to say. Both of you can recognize it as a female voice. Feminine.
I make it my prey.
Does it sound like a happy song, or does it sound like a song of murder? Well, I guess the Butcher's song was both a happy song and a song of murder.
Hard to tell from
Fang is
here,
confused.
but if you listen closely, you should be able to hear it. It's far away at this point, though.
Is it in the direction we're heading?
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end, then.
Bang, do you know of any beings out here like this?
Crip, do I know of any beings out here
Give me a
like this?
recall
need him.
knowledge.
Or recall knowledge myself?
Fang, Yin, both of you know thatchlings. They are a local legend. They are part of local folklore, too. You know that they are creatures of surrogate bodies made of grass, vulnerable to fire, but that the presence of normal thatchlings suggests a presence of a red-hooded thatchling, a powerful undead capable of creating thatchling spawn is likely present within the region as well. These beings are able to find and cultivate souls prevented from entering reincarnation through Sangpachi and turn them into thatchlings. Like itself. As for
Do I
the singing,
go on, go on.
it's haunting. As you think, both of you know the story. There was an event that happened at Canary Inn. It's very long ago that it happened. But you remember hearing of, at least in relation to the event, dangerous missives of fugitives said to have attempted to curse the imperial family. You remember that they were the fugitives in Canary Inn when it burned down? And you remember the leader of them was named Fan Hongrui, a well-known legendary singer in all of Tianxia.
Do I know if she's in the range of a level 2 party?
Considering she died 3 years ago in the inn's burning down after the stand-up with the guards, you're unsure.
Okay.
But you remember the final words of her that sung out, that she sang to everyone, that some people that wrote to your sister Zian wrote down, all very clearly. There are a lot of conflicting reports on what happened at the inn, why it burned down, why she was killed, why the fugitives were all killed. But she sung something as the building burned down around her. Her final words was, "All those who serve Lunghua will soon know how it feels to lose it all." Of course, it was a year later. Lunghua itself as an empire collapsed, so.
Bang. I don't know if we should go this way.
Well, I mean, we just need to figure out. We don't need to go to the inn. Just need to go around it. We can just go through the woods.
One thing I will say, Zian, is that you do know that it was the governor's orders to burn down that inn, and that those words were spoken to him in particular.
Have we heard any rumors since the burning of the inn that people hear singing when they go by it? Or is this like where like after the events of Willowshore, no one, like, it's just been a dead building, you know, like people walked by it, that's sad, moved on, nothing special. Because I'm sure if like something did happen, or if there was some weird stuff going on, we probably would have heard about it.
Most people
When like people came through here.
don't go by that way, but based off of your recall knowledge, you haven't heard anything like that.
So this could be new.
You do know, however, that the bodies of Fan's 2 accomplices were recovered and buried near the building, but her remains were never found.
Man, this is so crazy. Because if we were playing 5e, I'd be like, let's go check this shit out. But we're not playing 5e. We're playing Pathfinder, where
Yeah, I know. I think
I
we
know.
should.
people-
I'm in
Your
the same-
PSD is kicking in. I can feel
I
it
bet.
from here.
I-
You're like, solo monster on the road? No, I could hear it in your mind.
Well, I'm just saying,
there
like,
any-
when you fight things that are way beyond you, you die. There's nothing else but death.
We have horses that run really
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, we have horses.
We
We
also
run
want to
away.
be able to talk to her, because it mentions that these wicker
Okay,
things were sentient, and you could talk to them. They just often didn't.
you guys are right. I need to get back to Fang and out of Remy, because Remy's like, fucking leave. But Fang is curious. Fang has questions. Fang wants answers.
Okay, we'll
This is
circle back to this
curious,
though if we all
and
die
he wants
though.
questions.
You know, kind of remind everyone.
Well, our goal here is to to just go past it and continue west. I mean, continue
Well,
east.
Continue
Yes.
east.
And it's faster on the road than cutting through the forest where, you know, who knows what we run into.
I no longer have my cool sword ability though, because I used it on the mooks.
Well, I don't think
So-
she's made of wood, so.
Just in general, if she has a weakness, I can't exploit them anymore.
Fang thinks we should check it out.
Okay. We'll
Fang
check
looks
it
at
out.
Cian, and Fang's like, Cian, this could be the answers we're looking for. I've never heard of anybody hearing singing from this place before. Have
Think
you?
you think she's the cause of
Well,
what?
Well, you remember that, like, the story, the whole, like, down with the Empire or whatever that she's saying, like, you know, I mean, you guys are always talking about curses and whatnot. Maybe this is some lingering hate.
Well, the thing she hated was the lumber lords, and they
And
have
no more.
since left. They're no more.
She was referring to the governor, Jobin.
Well, he's no longer around either.
Well, why do we? What if she is singing to the governor right now?
Well, there's
I
only one
wanna
way to
save
find
the
out.
governor.
Yep.
Let's
only way to find
let's
out.
let's
It
walk
could be
past
just
it and not
someone
pay attention.
lost.
Let's
Could very
take
well
a look.
just be someone else also.
Yeah, it could be someone that needs our help.
The inn will stir the horse towards the way we're going.
Sounds
Moving
good
on.
to me. Sounds good to me. And as you ride forward, as does the singing grow.
Not creepy at all.
I hate this.
I like it.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful.
All right. And so you push forward and forward and forward, getting closer and closer to the Canary Inn. You do begin to understand the words. She is speaking in Tian. She is singing a song in a sweet voice about butterflies and dreams. Do any of you wish to roll me any checks
Yeah.
as you grow
I wanna
closer?
see if
Do I,
Yeah.
recognize
do
the
I
song,
recall
yeah.
it? Or do I know of it?
We'll do nothing in particular.
No.
Um,
My exploration activity button is right next to my basic action macros, and I clicked it, and then I said no, I don't want to do that, and it said I'll do nothing. I would like to see if I recognize the song
Okay.
or the voice.
Katai, many
One.
people come to speak of guilt, of pain at the Eternal Lantern, oftentimes with you there. Katai, you believe that this song is a song of Desna.
Oh, okay.
If you know who Desna is, I won't
I
elaborate.
do. Yeah.
It is a song, though, about Desna, her ideals of a butterfly reaching freedom, a fighting for freedom.
Oh, she's probably stuck.
Fang, you remember people talking about rumors. You remember being a pest or a fox, listening. You remember in your second life, oftentimes around this point, there was a fire. A fire burnt down an inn, and thus perhaps you were curious what happened, or you investigated, and you heard from the rumors that when Fan came to the area, she didn't actually just stay at the Canary Inn. She first sought refuge in Willowshore. She claimed to be searching for aid in dealing with her friend's snakebite. And in the moment, the governor ordered her arrested. You know that while some guards were injured, none were killed when she used her magic to distract them. You know that she was pursued with the governor to this inn. But in the tense standoff, the fire erupted. You don't know the official story, but you have heard from people that claim that it was the governor and his guards who started the blaze in an attempt to force the fugitive and her allies out of the inn into the open. But she never escaped the inn.
Okay.
All right. And so, you all approach. The forest road comes to a junction here, just north of which sit several partially burned single-bedroom structures. These half-dozen bungalows once compromised the Canary Inn. But today, most of the buildings are but rubble and buried, burned. And although the surrounding woodland has recovered from the fire, the northernmost structure seems mostly intact. 3 figures sit in the clearing just south of that structure. 2 of the figures wear long gray hooded cloaks and are facing away from you. They are wrapped in attention on the 3rd figure who stands before them. A young child wearing a red hooded cloak whose song about butterflies and dreams floats along on a melody that feels much more maudlin and downbeat than its whimsical topic would suggest. I will allow a perception check, quick.
From everyone?
Sure, if you wish to. Kitai and Siyin. You can tell as you move forward that the wind is not affecting the young girl's hair, nor the cloak as well as it should be. And as well, the 2 figures sitting in beside her are thatchlings in hoods.
Just got a combat map.
Thing is gonna get off the horse.
Alright, we'll also do the same.
Ian stays on the horse.
So will Katai.
As Ross walks past, jumping to say, remember number 1.
Are you lost? This inn has been abandoned for many years.
You speak these words, and you would see she stops singing. And she turns her head towards you all. For those of you that could know that it is an illusion, you see something else. You see what is below, what this spirit is trying to project itself to be, is not real. It is just Kitai and Siyin. So what you 2 see are what I'm about to send you. And she speaks.
Okay.
She points at Siyin to his hip. Siyin, you look down. She's pointing at your instrument. Are you here to entertain us? It's been so long since we've had others to perform for us.
As you guys see Cian, he's usually pretty stoic. He is not stoic right now. Colors drain from his face. He's looking right at the girl, and you can see he's visibly afraid. But he does not respond to her at all.
Her face begins to twist in upset anger, as if you're not hearing her, confused as if you're not responding to her. Do you change? Do you talk to her? Does anyone say anything?
Well, we are not performers, a traveling group. We are passing through. Are these...
You won't perform for me? For she and Hongman?
Can Ross sense motive on,
Yeah.
how dangerous this could be to reject her?
Yes. Ross, you get the feeling that if you do not attempt to quell her with music or performance, which is something that seems to have in her life been instrumental, no pun intended, to her happiness and life in general, is an expression of living. She is filled with an anger that can only be quelled such a way. She has done what she can to request it. If you do not perform for her in any manner, you get the feeling that she will either tell you to leave or may attack outright. But also, if the performance is really bad, she's going to attack you outright.
Alright. I don't
Your
know
Russell
many
Mitchell.
tricks, but I know a few pottery tricks that I could show you.
Music. Music now.
Seeing.
Ross glance over his shoulder towards CN, since I know he has an instrument. Otherwise, I could attempt badly to sing for us.
He will look at everyone else staring at it, finally snap out of this. And he will get his flute out. And he looks at the girl and says, "Do you have any requests?"
Sing to the end of tyrants. Sing to the individual.
He will try to think of a song for this girl that would have the theme of overcoming tyranny and maybe a happy ending. And he will attempt a song.
Make me a performance check.
I'm gonna get off the horse first.
Does anyone else aid or join in the performance? As it seems this creature is only able to be quelled by it.
Can I aid his performance by doing a Willowshore lore check so he can give him a song that he might know that follows that the theme that he's looking for?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go Willowshore lore. Trying to aid.
That'll be a success. You remind Zian of many of the tunes that were played at the end of Lungwa's downfall, as it started and people began to mock the imperial family.
All right, if this is horrible, I'm going to use that D4 that I have that's been on my character for a couple weeks.
You'll know if you failed, so you can roll it.
Oh snap!
Oh my lord.
Sometimes the dice tell a story.
Mm-hmm. That will be
27.
a
That's my
critical
line.
success. Ah.
Oh my god. I thought
Maybe
we were
she'll
all
just
dead.
maybe she'll just go away. Maybe she'll just disappear.
She listens. The two of the thatchlings listen. Their matching gray hoods and cloaks matching hers. You see her blood red cloak sway left to right. You see the form underneath. You see her for what she is. During the song, these are for everyone that didn't see her.
Oh yeah, I want to see it. I want to see the.
She drops it to listen. She drops it to hum along with you. As the anger fades away, the projections fade away, you see her for what she's become. As she sways left and right, holding on to her two friends. They hum a tune. Though they don't recognize the song that you sing, you can tell that they play along with it, that it must remind these beings, at least even the two who no longer remember who they are, of what they were fighting for. The beauty in life. And somehow, the fact that there is but another song that you know, Zian, that you can express a feeling of connection through your song, the same bitterness that she had felt in her life. You have somehow managed to quell this undead's feelings of jealousy or loss. Her illusion fades entirely, showing a blood-soaked thatchling with tendrils spindling out from within. Thank you. Thank you. And she shambles forward towards you. Do you stay? Zian.
I'm thinking.
She's holding out her hands towards you, and looks like she wants to
You're-
give you something, or hold out her
There's a
hands.
lot
to
of like stuff that's hitting a nerve with Zian right now, so I'm trying to figure out what he would do.
Mm-hmm.
He would stand his ground.
Look at
I
her.
don't like them. I don't like them.
Look at her.
Oh no. Giggling.
Yeah, he would stand his
Thank you for your beautiful gift. Why? Why have you come to visit me?
We are trying to find a way to the east, and we heard your voice. We came to investigate.
Lost? Oh. Then you may each ask me a question. That is all I can give. Just one. And I'll answer to the best of my abilities in this form.
Can we have the week to think about it?
You got
No,
10
I think
minutes
she-
in the session, my friend.
Do you think she
Think
knows about
fast.
the ghosts surrounding the town?
Yeah, I guess we can
I don't
also see
know.
if they know about what's preventing people from leaving.
Yeah, I can ask about that since I had influence with that for my question. If somebody might want to ask, since you have the background knowledge on who she is, whether or not she's connected with you know what.
I mean, we can also ask her if she knows where the governor is.
You know just about what has happened, what occurred, the incident, whatnot. It was 3 years ago when this happened in 71 or 7105. It was in the winter that year. So it happened 3 years ago. That is when she died. You've one question for each character that Cian has allowed you all to ask her.
Uh,
You know that she died in a horrible way at the governor's, reportedly, if rumors are to be believed, on his order.
I guess we can just ask her what really happened.
yeah. I feel like we were supposed to have another quest before we came here. We kind of didn't get that.
Nah.
That's what I'm feeling right now. I feel like we should be asking questions pertaining to a quest we don't have. So
Well, okay.
I mean, we have
Ross,
5 questions, so
yeah, Ross's question will be the spirits known as the Path. Are they keeping the residents of Willowshore from moving beyond the spectral woods?
I don't know of any spirits under that name. I don't know of anything that would be preventing you from moving along the forest. I'm bound here at this inn. Her head turns. A tendril spills out of it, twitching in the air, throbbing with heat and blood. Towards whoever asks the next question.
Yes, Joe been wanting content. I'll ask, can you tell us what happened the night the Canarian burned? What truly happened? And why?
It twitches. Both of the other hatchlings also twitch. Disturbed, it would seem. Trying to remember. It was... I was trying to save people. To save us. I knew that something was happening. Knew that the lung wall would fall. I knew of what was coming. And I tried to stop it. They would not hear me. I was deemed an enemy. Me and mine. And when we traveled here, we sought refuge. Just refuge. She gestures to the thatchling to the left of her. None she was bitten by a snake. He needed medicine. They found us. Your people was kind, but he knew. He chased us out, tried to have us arrested. We would be killed. And so we went to the inn. We gave them gold. We told them to run. We refused to leave. We wanted them to hear us. We just wanted to help. We tried to escape, but they locked the doors. And then they burned us alive. It was him. That governor. The head twitches to look towards someone else.
Do you want to be released from this?
I wish to know. I cannot rest until Langwa has fallen. Until I know. I want them to suffer before I rest. Your song, it is enough for me to know that I can leave. But I will answer you first.
You actually answered my question there, so now I got to think of a new one.
Quick question. So the 3 years ago during that winter, was that the really really bad winter, or was that was before that winter, right? Because that winter was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, that wasn't the worst winter. No, it was just a bad winter.
Okay.
You know that she would have needed help, and she wouldn't have been able to survive in the wilds, right? She definitely needed refuge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking they came here knowing that Lungwall was gonna fall. Governor did not want that news to go out. Chased her down. Made her a criminal. And when she ran over here to do that to silence her, he burned down the inn.
What is the general vibe of the governor in Willowshore? Like, is he a well-liked guy? Like, do we like him?
He is a man who does what he needs to do. He is a governor, and he's not someone that he would go to events, but he was definitely a business first kind of gentleman. He wasn't too involved in traditions, but he was the appointed governor.
Okay. Just because he kind of locked someone in an inn and burned them to death, so like, it kind of doesn't strike me as a.
We're only seeing one side of the story, right?
I guess.
I mean, she didn't say what he did.
Yeah.
Uh,
I guess Fang will ask. You knew Longwall was gonna fall. Why were you so sure Longwall was going to fall?
She takes a moment, her neck twisting. Corruption. Everyone. Arbitrary whims of a bloated aristocracy. The non-humans' treatment. It had to fall. But it was something else. Lies. It was derided by many. But it was the failure of the Jin Yi Wei. It could not save them. It was the creatures that waited, that fed the common people. Monsters. They took control. They did what humans could not. But no one knew they were monsters. No one knew what was happening. We're better for it. Longhua will fall. I promise you that.
Just to make sure I'm on the same. I remember correctly. Lung Wong already did fall,
It did.
but that happened. That happened after she died
Mhm.
3 years
Yeah.
ago.
She just doesn't know because she's been stuck here.
Okay, why don't we just tell her?
We could. I mean, I don't see why we. I don't see a reason why we couldn't tell her.
Wenghua collapsed 2 years ago, and the governor of Willowshore has been missing for some time.
You see its body twitch as tendrils fly out of her back, and they all ebb and throb as a laugh leaks out of her, rhythmic and full of joy and hatred. I knew it. Those in power will always abuse or abandon their responsibility given time. Be grateful your governor chose to leave you rather than inflict your town something worse. Thank you for telling me.
Do we have any more questions for her?
We have one more question.
We have one more.
Ian's question.
See ya.
Yeah, do we want
Crypt.
to follow up with anything that she just said or something different?
Crypt, how long has Si Yin and Si Yang been in Willowshore?
I'd say for quite some time. Like,
Longer than 3 years.
longer than 3 years.
Okay.
You're an established lawyer.
I actually don't have a question for her. And knowing the Si Yin's state of mind right now, I don't think he would ask anything.
Okay. In that case, after this question was asked, after telling her what's happened, you would see the two thatchlings beside her, as she grips onto the sides of them, begin to twitch, and then break down into twigs on the ground, as she sings a song to the both of them. She then begins to walk away, singing. And with tendrils, she'll gesture for you all to follow along.
Well, she hasn't been hostile yet.
Fang is gonna tell Beetle to watch the horses.
Okay.
We tie them up against something.
Beetle's got him.
You would see the creature, the red-hooded thatchling, blood-soaked, dripping as it moves, make its way here. It kneels down into this rubble of the burnt down inn. It points. Its neck snaps 180 degrees. And through the singing, she will say, "Thank you." And the thatchwork will break apart. The blood will spill onto the ground, and the last tendrils will reach deep into the rubble and rip from the very depths, the very edges of a red cloak. As the blood seeps into the rubble and disappears. As the blood also drenches the cloak, it glows with magic, embridled and fused, as her music slowly dies out.
I'll pick it up and hand it to Jobin.
Curiously, the blood doesn't get on your hands.
I mean, I think Zien should have it. He did all the work.
Oh, it's magic. We should probably let Jobin identify it.
I don't want it.
I could take a look. What's inside that? It's like they were pointing at that.
Well, they're pointing
I'll
down
find out.
here. That's probably an outhouse. I'd imagine. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, hold on, wait. Step aside, Ross. Can you hold the cloak?
Yeah.
Okay, Jobin.
Really? Okay.
You know, when you gotta go, I guess.
Well, make sure the, you know, anyone from town is not here.
Yes. Make sure there's no one.
It's gonna be a perception check.
Oof.
Ross, something immediately becomes apparent to you. As you look around this rubble, this right here is a grave. There are irregularities, however, with it. The charred soil is strange. Hardly dug up. And you would recognize, from the story, 2 graves for her 2 friends. And you recognize, even from this distance, the patterns of it. They were given shallow, unceremonious, rebel scum graves. Their bodies are likely still, well, no wonder their spirits were unable to rest with what was given them.
I'm torn between not disturbing their graves and giving them proper.
Mm.
You know.
I don't think we have the tools. Anyone have a shovel?
I don't.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at that cloak while you guys look around.
Okay.
You hold up the cloak. It is decorated.
Sit down on this rock and start looking at it, taking a look at it.
Is a red hooded cloak with a decorated image that the blood has formed. Without this blood, it would have forming. You get the feeling it would just be a normal red cloak, but it has solidified and turned into a metallic thread of an elaborately dressed performer with 2 companions holding a lantern and an umbrella for her. Is there anything that you can do to detect it or understand the properties of a magical item immediately?
Immediately,
Arcana check.
I have that. I don't have any extra feats that make it special, but I can also try and identify an item.
Okay. Make me an Arcana check. And I will say, as you guys begin investigating the remnants of Canary Inn, somehow, without this being here, it's as though there is somewhat a weight upon the region that has been lifted. The whole region, actually, feels the same. And though they do not know it yet why, it will actually lift the spirits of everyone in Willowshore. And you may automatically get a reputation point with both Northridge and South Bank because this spirit was put to rest in such a way. This isn't something of like, oh, you have to go tell them. It's just they feel less haunted and thus are more happy to help anyone.
Arcana.
Spend 10 minutes. Sounds good.
Blind?
Yeah. If you do not mind. Okay. I will give you Hangrui's gratitude, the magical item that is a success, and I will allow you to figure out what it does and figure out who you might give it to. And we'll come back next week for you guys to explore more. Look at you guys pursuing future quests before you need to.
We did it. We solved the puzzle.
Yep. I got a list of stuff I want to do when we get back to town.
Oh, you know what I think? You said it was a bunch of souls blocking the path, bunch of restless souls.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we might have to go around, taking care of a bunch of heavy, tough, restless souls to clear out Willowshore.
I mean, these were. What should I say? That character art was quite terrifying.
Okay. All right. Okay. Activation, 3 actions, command and vision, activation light. Frequency once per day. Requirement: you don't have the umbrella activation of this cloak activated. Effect: with a wave of the cloak to the left, cause the image of the lantern holding companion and the cloak to vanish. A floating red lantern appears at your side and follows you at arm's length, which, while casting bright light 20 feet, like a torch, for 1 hour. While the light from this lantern is activated, you gain a +1 item bonus to diplomacy checks. You can activate this cloak again to dismiss the torch effect. So that's one thing you could do. You can make a light appear, and then once per day. And another thing you could do once per day. We have the clock to the right. You cause an image of an umbrella holding companion on the cloak to vanish, and indestructible red wax paper umbrella appears above you and follows you, shielding you from weather effects such as rain or bright sunlight for 1 hour. While the umbrella is active, you get a +1 item bonus to survival checks and can activate the cloak again to dismiss it. All right.
Cute.
Honestly, I think this will actually be really good for Cian, because he'll now have a way to give himself light if he needs it, and he'll have a way to give himself bonuses on survival checks if he needs it.
While I agree, I'm not going to take that item under any circumstance.
All right. You all have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching the stream, and we'll see you for